Got a bottle of whiskey, but I got no proof that you showed up tonight. And that dress just a mess with my head. So much for so long, out of sight, out of mind. Girl, you're looking so good, it's driving me out of mind. Oh, you're breaking my heart, baby, you're playing hard to forget. Oh, honey, I'm falling apart, and you're playing hard to forget.
You're listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Monday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. We call him the Swiss Army knife. He's Richie Rich, of course. It's Richard Holdridge. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, DJ. Glad to be back in the studio after a long weekend.
Long weekend indeed, and congratulations to all of the football teams that made it to high school postseason play, man. I tell you, we had some winners and we had some guys that actually will be packing it up for the season. But, all in all, if you made it this far, Richard, you have done an outstanding job.
Yeah, we've had some thrilling finishes. We've had some questionable decisions as far as going for two. But no, a great season. How about the Opelika Bulldogs?
Yeah.
Making it to the state championship. They'll play Thompson. And the Lynette Panthers making it to the semifinals. And, of course, Carver, they keep rolling along, but they got a big one on Friday against Thompson.
Absolutely. We'll get into that in a little bit, just in a little bit. First of all, let's go ahead and say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land and, of course, YouTube, who's waking up with us this morning. We appreciate the fact that you give us an opportunity and a privilege to help you get your day started. And again, it's the holiday season, so it's getting tougher and tougher to get up. And I know you're all ready for your Thanksgiving turkey. Some people are even starting their Thanksgiving week off by eating turkey and dressing and greens and macaroni and cheese today, Richie. You don't have to wait till Thursday, although that's the tradition. However, it's just a wonderful opportunity. Are the kids out of school this week?
They are out of school this week.
Out of school this week. So kids at home and all the student athletes that are listening out there, good morning. We appreciate you. We love the fact that you will, and I'm sure you're probably not getting up as early, but it's kind of tough when you've been getting up, this early all year long. Even though you have a little break in the action, it still might roll over. If you hear that old voice of DJ and Richard, you're in the right place.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in athletics this week. We do have some tournaments. We do have like Brookstone's in a tournament in Macon, and Columbus, Smith Station, they're up in a tournament in LaGrange. But yeah, it's kind of a slower week than usual. I mean, it's just we're used to just hitting the ground running, and so we're just getting ready for that Thanksgiving break.
Absolutely, and for all of our friends out there, and of course, WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921 land. We love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
Let's get it started. Richie, of course, hey, man, listen, first off, again, I want to congratulate some teams out there that did the damn thing, Richie. And, of course, I'm talking about none other than the Opelika Bulldogs. They beat the Auburn 31-28. And, of course, the Carver Tigers, they boat raced Stevens County. My God, I mean, that was a long ride down here from up in North Georgia, from Toccoa, Georgia. But Jarvis Jones and his Carver Tigers did the damn thing in a big way, shutting out Stevens County, sending them back home 56-0. Of course, Thompson was able to come into town to take one from Central, but congratulations to the Red Devils for a great season. The Glenwood Gators I tell you what, Southside came in and took it to them. They beat the Glenwood Gators 34-21. And as you mentioned before, Lynette was able to beat Luverne 35-16. LaGrange toppled North Hall 52-28. Troup County took it under the chin, man. Cairo came into town and beat them 28-20. And our Brookstone Cougars, man, oh man, we got to talk about that, Rich. We got to unfold and unpack that loss in the state championship. That was a That was Coach Ian Hetley's opportunity. However, he's had a great season. He and his Brookstone Cougars, they lost to Stratford 14-7. And I know you guys had the opportunity to see most of that. And kind of give us in a nutshell, give us that executive summary, if you would, Rich.
Yeah, so Thrift Behringer and Mike Frost were on the call, and Dave Plata was on the sideline for GIAA.TV at Five Star Stadium in Mercer. This was the highlight game on Saturday night. Stratford Academy took a 6-0 lead in going into the second half. Brookstone led 7-6, and they punt the football away with 5 minutes to go in the game. And Stratford Academy gets a blocked punt, and they put it in for the score, and it's 14-7. Now Brookstone's driving, trying to tie the game. They got all the way down to the 22-yard line of Stratford, but Broughton Branch gets sacked, and Stratford wins the state championship. Brookstone got so close. If it wasn't for the block punt, I honestly believe that Brookstone would be state champions. They played so hard. We're so proud of Brookstone for getting to the state championship, and Coach Ian Headley in his first year.
Yes.
And they do have some young players that are coming back next year. I think this Brookstone team is going to be even just as good next year as they were this year.
Look out, GIAA. Of course, Ian Headley is the new sheriff in town. He and his Brookstone Cougars are here to stay. And you're talking about the start of a dynasty. I don't think it could get started any better than going to the state championship in your very first year.
Mm-hmm.
So Ian Headley and his Brookstone Cougars have a lot to be proud of. Do you know, just right off the record, is this more of a senior-based team, or we got a lot of young guys that were contributors?
A lot of their seniors are mainly on the defense, like Savon Kelly, MJ
Baker.
Archibald, Harrison Baker. That core group of seniors on the defense really anchored that defense, which really kept them in the game. That defense really was the MVP in the previous round, and they were able to keep Stratford Academy off the board, only giving up the 6 points. I mean, I know that they did have the block punt, and Stratford had 1st and goal at the 5. I mean, that was hard for them not to give up that touchdown. But yeah, their defense was just playing lights out. They have a bunch of seniors, and so I think that defense is just going to be young next year. But Broughton Branch, only a junior. I mean, he's coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, the injury to Dylan Terry. You got Sammy LeBoy. You got Meacham Kelly, wide receiver. They've got some great key contributors that are going to be coming back. It's just a lot of pieces they're going to be losing on that defense.
How about my boy Sammy LeBoy? Can he play at the next level?
Oh yeah, he could play. He came from Florida, just like Coach Headley. He
came in with Coach Headley, right?
I believe so. I believe
right.
He came in with Coach Headley. He's the real deal. He could catch it in the backfield. He could run. He was able to carry the workload when Dylan Terry went down in the 4th game of the season. Your leading rusher goes down with a season-ending injury, and Samuel LeBoy came in and picked up the workload. So, this Brookstone team, they got a lot to look forward to for next season because they got some players coming back, and we can't wait.
Players coming back. Not to shed any light on any negativity, but the fact of the matter is there was one of the playoff games that I read that had to be halted early. They stopped it in the 3rd or the start of the 4th quarter because of a brawl. And I read that a couple of teams, and I'll get into the details a little bit later in the show. But that's unfortunate because, again, these teams have worked all year long. And then, of course, they get an opportunity to play in the postseason. And then a fight breaks out late in the game, and they eliminated an entire quarter. And they called the game. And I'm in calling the game, I'm wondering, I know there was a team that was leading, and I'm sure that they're going to be moving on. But goodness gracious, Richard. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, absolutely tough. You hate seeing that. I did hear about that, but I don't think it was anybody like near our area.
It doesn't matter. I just thought that it was just a fact of the matter. You get this point, you work this hard, and you play to get to this point, and you lose your discipline, and damn brawl breaks out.
Yeah, it was Gainesville and Brunswick.
Gainesville and Brunswick.
And I just the egos from the fans and the parents in the stands that go into play because you're not getting your way. Sportsmanship just goes right out the window.
Yeah.
When you have a brawl. I know that rivalries are great. Playoff games get heated sometimes. And sometimes you'll have like some tussling, some extracurricular activities at the end of the game, some pushing and shoving, but a full-fledged brawl is unexcusable. And I know that the GHSA officials, they're going to be looking at some tape and try to do some investigation, maybe even press charges.
They're going to be making some examples. They
got to make some examples out of some of these fans.
Absolutely.
Like ban them for life. I mean, come on. This is we definitely. We're in 2025 now. We cannot be having brawls in high school football stadiums.
And here's the thing that I associate and that I attach with it. My thought going in is that, you play football as physical as it is, you between the white lines, you got a set of rules, but you can knock the hell out of anybody. It's you against him. And you want to have an opportunity to play, grab butt, tussling and fighting that, in between, after, before plays. I mean, come on, you're football players and you have an opportunity to prove it, swinging on people and people coming off the sidelines, people coming out wherever they were coming from. And, it just didn't make any sense. Hopefully nobody was injured, but I just feel bad for those kids because, again, that will follow them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, you just absolutely hate to see that. And hopefully they can move on from this and just we need to be a better example just as far as sportsmanship goes during these high school football games. And it's still it's just unbelievable. This stuff is still going on.
All right. Well, that's the last of that. And we'll throw that negativity out with the bath water. So what I'll let you know who our guests are today. Corey Black, who is the new general manager for the arena football team, the Columbus Lions. We'll have him on slate coming up at 6:30. Dusty Perdue, of course, with all his basketball greatness, the Glenwood Gators basketball coach will be with us at 7 o'clock. Chad Bishop, Mr. Chad Bishop, the beat writer for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and man, they took one under the chin.
Oh, I know.
Goodness gracious, but I tell you, I guarantee you, it's not going to have any bearing on the attitudes and the energy of the players going into the old-fashioned hate, bowl game against the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. But Chad's going to be here to talk a little bit about unpack that loss and talk about the repercussions and how the rest of the season should pan out. And at 8:30, we'll hear all things Georgia Bulldogs. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Jordan Hill with Dawgs 247 Sports will be with us at 8:30, and he'll have an opportunity to unpack the Georgia Bulldogs win over Charlotte. And of course, as we head into this humongous Friday night or Friday afternoon game up in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against Georgia Tech, what to expect. But, again, before we go to the break, it's a great time of year, Rich. I don't know of any better time. My family came into town, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my grandson, and my daughter-in-law. And man, we kicked off a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the wonderful week.
I love the fact that when we have Thanksgiving week, football starting on Thanksgiving with, we've got some college games. We've got the Egg Bowl. We also have the Cowboys taking on the Chiefs. I mean, it's just a massive football week. And I love the fact that Georgia Tech's on Black Friday because it's the appetizer getting ready for, I still think it's a huge game, the Iron Bowl. I know that Auburn, they've changed a quarterback. It's going to be very interesting. I'm just excited about, Texas A&M and Texas. I mean, Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, come on. If you're a college football fan, I'm sure you're going to sit in front of the couch and watch these massive games and, eat some leftovers on Friday and Saturday because that's really what it's all about. Just spending time with your family, but also watching some football and eating leftovers on Friday and Saturday.
Tell you what, Richard, let's go ahead and take a break. Let's come back and talk about some of that, some of those games and some of what we're going to be doing and to, of course, help us digest that brilliant Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, you're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sportsvisions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress on January the 5th. Her announcement comes after her fallout with President Donald Trump over the Epstein files, being called a traitor and sharing criticisms on some of the Trump administration's policies. In Lynette, authorities are searching for a gunman who opened fire on a Lynette officer and struck the patrol vehicle several times Sunday off Veterans Memorial Parkway. Investigators say the officer was not harmed, and the Lynette Police Department is asking anyone with information about the incident to contact them. UAB football player Daniel Mincy is charged with attempted murder for stabbing two of his teammates. He was arrested on Sunday. Interim coach Alex Mortensen is glad to say the two players are expected to survive. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Monday morning. We are starting off the day mostly clear and chilly with those readings in the 40s and a few 50s. Plenty of sun in the forecast today with a mix of sun and clouds. Those highs still climb well above average in the upper 70s later this afternoon. Tonight, mild and partly cloudy, lows in the upper 50s. We are tracking a strong cold front arriving Tuesday with showers and storms. A few of those could be strong. The front clears early Wednesday and then a cooler Thanksgiving forecast.
J. Smith Lanier & Company is now Marsh & McLennan Agency. We remain a full-service insurance, retirement, and risk management firm specializing in employee benefits, commercial insurance, surety, and personal insurance. It's our business to be there for you in the moments that matter, as we have for over 150 years, protecting what and who matters most. Marsh & McLennan Agency is one of the largest insurance brokerages in the United States, offering high-touch service by trusted local insurance specialists. Located in Brookstone Center Office Park and online at marshmma.com.
Let's have some straight talk. Are you sick of being trapped in a title pawn or just need a loan? Call 1-800-NEW-RATE. If you're in a title pawn trap, we can get you out. We save you thousands in interest. We lower your payments, possibly cut your payments in half, and you get up to $1,000 in extra cash. That's $1,000 extra cash, and your first payment's not due for up to 45 days. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. It's fast, it's easy, and you can get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Do you need to pay off that high-interest title pawn loan? Then call right now to 1-800-899-6669. Call 1-800-NEW-RATE at 1-800-899-6669. Did I mention you can get up to $1,000 in extra cash? That's 1-800-NEW-RATE. Get approved right over the phone and get your check today. Call now to 1-800-899-6669. Motors Acceptance Corporation. Doing business as 1-800-NEW-RATE. Georgia Installment Lender License. NMLS number 1943997.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
This season of Georgia Bulldogs football is brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union, Yates Insurance, and Marsh & McLennan Agency, locally known as J. Smith Lanier.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. Y is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. With my Y, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Join today at ymca.org for a better us.
Every day, 12 children die from sepsis, more than from cancer. Most people don't know the word sepsis or the symptoms. Protect yourself and your loved ones. To learn more about the symptoms, go to sepsis.org.
Operation Homefront, they opened up so many possibilities. It took us from a hopeless situation. Now we're homeowners. We have a savings account. It's completely changed the way our life is. Our household is so much happier.
Visit operationhomefront.org to learn more.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions morning show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions morning show. Good Monday morning. It's a memorable Monday morning. And of course, we are into the Thanksgiving week. The kids are at home relaxing and chillaxing like they want to. Of course, Thanksgiving on the other end of the weekend. And of course, a lot of high school football playoff action and a lot of college football will be winding down. And, of course, professional football, all the implications for the playoff will go into full effect. I know that we're going to have a really, really nice weekend of football. But how about them Cowboys, Richard?
Wow, coming down from 21 down to the Philadelphia Eagles, and makes you wonder, there must be something really wrong with the Eagles. No, it's the Cowboys. They got all this momentum, and that's why I'm excited about seeing the game against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. The way the Chiefs came back on the Indianapolis Colts. This is why I love this time of the year, because you got college football, NFL, high school football. I mean, every level of football is one of those. It's captivating. You're sitting on the couch. You're watching these games and analyzing them. And I'm thinking, these games really matter. And what a slate of Thanksgiving games we have. And the Cowboys did it. And I think that they keep their playoff hopes alive. And the Eagles, they fall down to like the number 3 seed because the Bears are 8-3. So that was a huge comeback for the Cowboys.
Big shout out to Stanley Crowell. He's checking in with us. He was the first one. You are the first one in the leadoff batter's box, Stanley. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know that everybody else out there will follow suit. But, Richard, you know what? I've been eager. We got a few minutes. I've been eager to unpack. I know you guys had a big weekend down in Macon, and I want you to give us detail, blow by blow, of course, from time down there to the time you came home.
Well, I had the opportunity to be there for 2 days. I was down there Thursday at Cavalier Stadium, where Mount DeSales plays their games, and was on the call for GIAA.TV for 3 football games on Thursday. The Pacelli flag football team, they win their 4th straight flag football championship. They beat Mount DeSales 20-0. And then Thrift and I were both on the call on that. And then we were on the call for the 8-man football championship. Sherwood Christian ended up defeating Westminster Schools of Augusta. Got a little starstruck there because I ran into somebody I recognize in one of my favorite movies of all time, who's the senior pastor at Sherwood Baptist Church.
Okay.
And they, I got to take my picture with him and tell him what a big fan I was. He played the movie Fireproof, but that's neither here or there. And then the All-Star game, we had several members from Calvary and Pacelli that were featured in that game. So,
stuff.
3 football games on Thursday night.
Wow.
It was a late Thursday night. Friday, I went back to Macon. They changed the venue to 5 Star Stadium, home of Mercer University. And I got to be on the call for the Single A championship. Robert Toombs ended up defeating Edmund Burke. And then the 3A championship, I got to be sideline reporter as Thrift Behringer and Mike Frost were on the call. And John Millage ended up defeating Deerfield Windsor. And let me tell you something. I thought that this game was going to be won. John Millage, all they had to do was sit on the ball, take a knee. And while they were taking the knee, Deerfield Windsor recovered the fumble, and they had an opportunity to get the ball back. What an exciting game. And, of course, I had to be at Columbus State Saturday night because I was actually working the gymnastics event. It was for like younger kids, like 10, 11, 12 years old. But it was still great that they got to be in the spotlight, have judges. I ran the clock. And while that was going on, we have the 2A championships and the 4A championships, and Thrift Behringer, Mike Frost on the call for that, and Dave Plata on the sidelines as the sideline reporter.
Well, I had a chance to see you and Thrift do a show from you guys were sitting on the field down there in Macon. And I tell you, man, you know what? I felt like a proud uncle, man. I said, look at my boys, man. Again, those networks, of course, at Fox and ESPN and all those other places, they don't have nothing on you. You guys were jam up. You were professional. I was like, look at Richie sitting up there with that white starch collared shirt on, and Thrift had his blazer on, and these guys were going. I said, man, these are the same guys that were in the studio with me every morning. Yes, they are. And again, man, you guys did a fantastic job representing the city, representing your families, and again, giving our little kids out there hope, man, that you know what, you can get it out of the mud. I was really, really happy to see you guys, on the call and doing what you do. And again, just proud of you, man.
Well, I appreciate that, DJ. If there's anything that Thrift taught me was you have to dress the part. Especially, you see these big wigs like on the major networks that are wearing the suit and tie. I'm not quite there yet. I like being comfortable, but the dress shirt just to look good on the broadcast is very important.
Right.
And it really makes you presentable. And plus, Thrift and I have been doing it for a long time now. We're all about having those live hits on the field to establish the location. I mean, yeah, we were doing a Georgia Alabama Sports Live show. We were giving like score updates, but yeah, it was on location. And I love seeing that because it really sets the tone for the mood and the atmosphere. And we just continue doing it. And that's what we've been doing for almost 3 years now.
Good deal. Good deal. I'd like to say good morning to Rodney Lawrence, my friend, my good friend out there listening this morning. Thank you for listening, Rodney.
Thank you.
You and Stanley both, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the Sports Visions morning show is on the air now. The only live and local sports talk radio show in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. And can I tell you something, Richard?
Yes.
We're the only talk show live in East Alabama, West Central Georgia. So not just sports, it's we're only one live. So again, man, what a wonderful opportunity. And we appreciate both Rodney and Stanley and all the other folks. I know that it's the holiday break, and for the kids being out of school again, I don't know, some people still have to get up and put in a few more days. And if they don't get the Thanksgiving day off, well, shame on their employers and shame on whoever it is that's going to be responsible for, again, not allowing these folks to stay at home with their families.
Yeah, I still know a lot of companies that they're still working today, tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday's a half day. Wednesday is when people start traveling out of town. And by the way, that Columbus airport's going to be opening up this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. They're adding more flights. I mean, that's going to be huge for the economy, especially for travel, because they're not just going to fly to Atlanta. They're going to go to other destinations. I'm excited about that. But sometimes, you got Thanksgiving week. Yeah, obviously the kids are out of school.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will take an entire week off. I used to do that because we used to like go the weekend before,
right,
and just spend all week with family. And so, yeah, we understand your situation, where you are. We thank you for listening to us, however you're listening to us. And we just want to get you ready for that Thanksgiving week. And I'm excited. We're here just talking sports on Thanksgiving break.
And thank God for technology, Richie. You will be the rock star for Thanksgiving because you'll be here with us on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with the best of. And man, looking forward to, of course, waking up. Again, I know I'll be off, but I'm going to be tuning right in to hear you do your thing.
I appreciate that, DJ. I always enjoy coming into the studio and filling in for you and Thrift on the best of. And we've got so many interviews over the last month that I've got to chop up and put in the best of the interviews that is definitely worth listening to more than once. And if you end up missing any of our interviews, you can catch it on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. You can also listen to it commercial free on Apple and Spotify. And of course, if you're outside of the listening area here in the Columbus area, you could always download the Sports Visions radio app and listen to us that way. I know I was listening to Sports Visions on my way to Macon. I lost the signal right around Upatoy.
Okay.
But I pulled the Sports Visions radio app out and
say that again. Radio what?
The Sports Visions radio app.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
I pulled that out and listened to it. It no static. It sounded like just perfect audio on my way to Macon. So perfect tool to have once you get out of the area.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You got a slew and a plethora of interviews, and of course from Kinsey McCollins, of course, Brinson Buckner. That's my all-time favorite so far this year. I mean, I could listen to that one every day.
That's that guy.
And it's actually a two-part hour-long interview. Of course, he was talking so much good stuff. He was talking to the parents, talking to the coaches, talking to the kid. I mean, it was that's one of my favorites. Charles Flowers is another great interview. Jeff Halstead is a guy that we checked in with. Steve Holman, who is actually the voice of the Atlanta Hawks, has done a tremendous job, and that's another one you can pull from. But again, we got a lot of great folks from Buck Ballou, Nubias Wilborn, Chad Bishop, and that's Mr. Chad Bishop, if you will.
Chad Bishop.
Kendall Mills is another guy that obviously is near and dear to our heart. Gary Clegg. I mean, I'm just these are some names that you're going to hear over the next several days with Richard in the studio. Freddie Gilbert, of course, Matt Stewart with GPB Sports. You're going to be hearing if you've been watching any of the Georgia Public Broadcasting playoffs on on GPB. Matt Stewart is the lead guy. Jordan Hill, of course, with Dawgs 247 Sports. Perry McIntyre, Tim Scott, of course, the head of the Georgia High School Association. He is also a part of that lineup. So. Richard, I mean, it's a who's list, and it's just going to be fun to sit back and listen to those great interviews because they drop some nuggets in full on the Sports Visions Nation.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time to listen to those interviews. And I also think it's also going to be a great time just to unwind and be able to spend time with family this Thanksgiving. And, can't wait to talk about it again when we come back in the studio next week. But yeah, it's going to be a condensed time where we're not going to be in the studio together talking about like everything that's going on like in real time when it comes to these sporting events because it's starting off on Thanksgiving. But this is just a time where you can get the best of and just enjoy all the interviews we've had the past couple months.
Hey, come close. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Corey Black, the new general manager of the Columbus Lions Arena football team, right here in Columbus, Georgia, we're going to have an opportunity to let you hear from Corey, Coach Black. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Drop it for me. I'll rent a beach house in Miami. Wake up with no jammies. Lobster tail for dinner. Julio served that scampi.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
While serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. The fighting was so intense, the medevac chopper was barely able to land. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and talk with kids about dealing with life's struggles. I tell them, with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
I know that some struggles are big and some are small, but they're all struggles, and you have to learn to get through them. With support from DAV, more veterans like me can live their best life. And as a new father, I have one more reason to keep on keeping on. My victory is being there for the next generation.
Adam Alexander, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And my electrical was deemed unsafe. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I didn't really know where to go in order to get help. And so I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. They've really been a blessing. Operation Homefront is the safety net. A lot of veterans, they fall through the cracks sometimes. And Operation Homefront, they catch us. It's been a blessing to us. It's a blessing to other veteran families. And it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us and want to see us do well and want to see us succeed. And we feel it and we appreciate that. I would say you guys are angels behind closed doors.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play. that my worth isn't determined by my performance, that even on my worst day, I am worthy, that you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. Getting a pass is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
This guy's background. Let's go ahead and bring him up. Corey Black, good morning. How are you, sir?
Morning, DJ and Richard. How y'all doing today?
Real good, man. Real good. But I'm going to unpack some of this. You're the Dean of Scholars at Emmanuel Prep. And, of course, you are the owner of CB Hoops. And, again, the bottom line is that, you have done a whole lot in this community. And now you've taken on another very important job as the general manager of the Columbus Lions Arena football team. Congratulations. I appreciate the fact that you have taken on another one of these stiff deals. But we've seen you make a way out of no way.
I know, right? Well, thank you for being there, both of y'all yesterday. Meant a lot. It's not easy to always have media in events. You have to stop what you're doing in the middle of the day to get there. So I appreciate both of you being there and the coverage for yesterday's event. But yeah, something else we gotta build on, DJ.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited about it, and I think it's gonna be really good. This is one venture where I feel really good about. I feel like we got a shot.
Well, one thing that I was very impressed with saying, or with what that I heard, and I don't know if many people knew that, that outside of your intimate circle, is that Roger made mention that if he confided in you about this project and started and getting involved, and he said that if you said no, he wouldn't have done it. Man, I tell you what, that's powerful. It's powerful, and it's powerful that he, first of all, thinks enough of you to, of course, affiliate himself with you. I know you're friends, but, friends in business sometimes don't mix.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think what makes us really good friends, we can be honest with each other.
Yeah.
I can tell him, heck no, that's not going to work. Or heck yes, let's do it. So
yeah,
I think that's what makes us really good friends. Most friends don't like to tell each other the truth, but we do.
Coach Black, congratulations on the general manager position of the Columbus Lions. I've known you for a while now, and one thing that I love about you is your work ethic. You know that you are going to be driven to make sure that this is the most successful product that's placed on the field. So the first order of business is trying to get a team together. Are you looking at the roster from last year? You're going to try to get those players? Are there any players in particular? Or do you want to try to go the local angle and get some familiar faces that played football in this area? Like, what is the team going to look like for 2026?
Well, it's still early. And to be honest with you, Richard, that's Damian's job. Damian is the football coach. I'm here for business. I'm here to figure out how to put butts in the seat, how to get entertainment, how to get people excited about the product that's already good in Columbus. I'm not getting in Damian's way. Hell, he the GM for all I care. He manages his own roster. He knows football. Hell, I don't know no football. I know business. I know how to connect people. That's what I'm here for. So Damian got that. I'm not getting in his way. Roger's not getting in his way. He built his own roster. He's been successful doing it, and he'll continue to be successful doing that part.
Absolutely. All we know is that, you have come up through the ranks, and you've earned everything that you have achieved for yourself, and which includes several championships. And again, when you talk about, that part of it, people say, well, again, and I'll let you say it the way you say it, but, the bottom line is, getting people in seats, getting people excited about, going out and having another opportunity to enjoy a family, fan-friendly event. And that's what, because again, Roger is competitive as he is, and I know how competitive you are, Corey. Y'all are not just doing this for clicks and bait.
No question about it. We want to put a really good team out there. And truth be told, the Lions always had a competitive team. But what's been missing is the other part, people knowing about it, people going to the games, people getting excited about it. Hell, I ain't never been to a Columbus Lions game, not one day. So I asked myself, like, how many other Corey Blacks out there that don't know anything about the Lions that probably would enjoy a good family fun atmosphere, good entertainment. Heck, I went to the Clingstone games, and, those are 9 long innings, and this football game is 1 hour and 15 minutes, and it's fast, entertaining. I think it's something to it. And again, the Columbus Lions been around 20 years, so somebody's interested in it.
Absolutely. Now, when you take all that you're doing, obviously you are the Dean of Scholars at Emmanuel Prep. You have CB Hoops. Now, of course, you've taken on this task as the general manager for the Columbus Lions. How do you see? Help us understand, how do you prioritize, your business, and how you're going to go ahead and attack this whole situation?
Yeah, really and truly, it's kind of good time. And Columbus Lions season really don't get started till March, April, May, June, which is the back end of our school year. So I don't see much conflicts in that. I'm still going to grind it out daily here at Emmanuel Prep from sun up to sun down. That's the priority first. CB Hoops is mostly in the spring, summer, so that's not really a conflict. And we'll throw the Columbus Lions in there, in and out. And when we're out there, making our rounds through Emmanuel Prep and the Columbus Lions, we're talking about both. So I think it's a really pretty cool seat to be in when you can connect some of these businesses and stuff to both parties.
I tell you what, with all the success that you've had, and of course you got it out of the mud, as I like to say, but let folks know how important it is for you to leverage your relationships with, of course, again, if they trust you at Pacelli and what you were able to do over there, and if they trust you at Emmanuel Prep with, of course, the start that you had there. Again, the same people that followed you and supported you are going to be the same people that you're going to be able to leverage those relationships to help you build this Columbus Lions football base.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, DJ. It's all about relationships, who do people trust, who people want to invest in, what product are they investing in? Are they investing in Emmanuel Prep, or they're investing in the Scholars, they're investing in Columbus Lions? Who do they trust? If they think it's really good, if they think they can win off of it, they'll invest in it. But yeah, it is important. Relationships are everything. That's why I take them seriously. That's why I try not to burn any bridges. So I just think it's all about relationships and connecting the dots.
Corey, if you would, I know that CB Hoops has been a very, very integral part of your success, a part of your business. Share with folks out there, because obviously that's you've been over 20 years of doing and successful. And again, those, when I was talking about leveraging relationships and all, not that part of it as well. And that's, all over the state, all over the Southeast, all over the country that you have these relationships.
Yeah, I've been doing CB Hoops over 20 years now, and connecting the dots with college coaches, high school coaches, parents, student athletes all across the country, just building relationships. And those are everyday relationships over 20 years that I've built. And that's what it takes. Nothing happens overnight. But I think this Columbus Lions thing can be the same kind of process.
Coach Black, the American Arena League is going to be the league that the Columbus Lions are joining. Right now, they've got 4 teams, including the Wheeling Miners. They used to be in the NAL with the Jersey Bearcats and the Mississippi Wolfpack. Are we expected to get more teams in the AAL? And what would the travel look like, especially having a team from West Virginia and all the way up in New Jersey as far as getting ready for this upcoming season?
Yeah, right now, I think that's what we're going with, Richard, are those 4 teams in the in our league. And we'll play some crossover games with the AAL 2 teams to complete the schedule. So we'll have 9 total games. Again, this league is new, but like I said yesterday, this is where we're starting at. This is not where we're gonna finish at. We're gonna have arena football in Columbus, Georgia. We're gonna have arena football, but this is where we're starting at. We're scouting every day about where we want to take this thing, but we got to get in it right now to see where we're at. yeah, we got some long trips out there, Richard, but we'll fly to those and we'll fly back home. No big deal. But the league wise, we want to get to a point where we're going to a bigger, stronger, better league. And what we got to do, we got to make this year really good and build some momentum off of it to get to the next league.
Corey Black is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, and he's the new general manager of the Columbus Lions. And Corey, as I was sitting in the audience and listening to Roger give his presentation about, of course, being the new majority owner, he made mention of something that I know that you can elaborate or talk to us about this morning. His wife and the consideration that she had and following and getting behind him, and you and the family is very important to you as well as Coach Daniels. Talk about the family dynamic in this, because again, you guys couldn't do what you were doing if you didn't have that support from the house.
No damn question about that. Oh, sorry, I'm cussing on the radio early this morning, and I'm at school, but ain't no scholars here. But but hey, no question about it. What they say. Gotta have a happy wife, mean a happy life. What they say, DJ? What
happy
they
wife,
say.
happy life. Uh-huh.
But that stuff matters. I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the support of family that just let me do all these crazy adventures and stay gone all day, all night, chasing stuff to make other people better and other places better and other things better. So I appreciate my family and Coach Beck, his wife, signing off on it. It's huge, when you make that kind of investment in something. Yeah, you probably got to get it checked off, but that's what it's all about, is support, and we're grateful to have the support of our families.
The other part of that too is it'll go back to the friendship that you have. You guys I've seen you on social media, and I know you, and you guys have been at events all over the country, from the Final Fours to, talk about that, how important that is for you guys as far as bonding as friends.
Yeah, it's very important. And the thing about it, DJ, and it's always stuck out, is when we visit places, we always go visit other businesses, colleges, universities, see how they do stuff, see how they brand stuff, see how they run their businesses. Never really thought about we would be doing something like this part of it, but we always, when we go somewhere, it's not just always fun and games. We try to get something out of it from other people.
Coach, I remember a time when I was part of the organization almost 4 years ago, when we had 4 professional sports teams in Columbus, and I thought it was very important that each one of those teams cross-promoted each other, because we're all on the same team. We're not competing for fans, because you could be a fan of the Lions and a fan of the Cleanstones and the River Dragons. How important is cross-promotion with the other professional sports teams in Columbus?
No question about it, Richard. You got to think we are in the same season as hockey and the Cleanstones. So we all need to be on the same page and help each other. You need to be able to pull up to the Cleanstone game, then go over there to the Lions game, then the next day go to the River Dragons game. If we all can get on that same page, we're going to have something special in Columbus, Georgia. And to be honest with you, Richard, that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key right there, because we all are minor league teams. And if we can all get together on the same page, hell, I don't see why we don't have one billboard with all 3 mascots on it, but that's going to take some work from the other parties.
Yes.
But if we can all get that, that's the key. That's one of my main goals, is getting all the minor league teams on the same page. If we get that really going, man, that Civic Center area and Synovus Park area could be rocking and rolling, and it could be crazy.
And, Coach Black, when, part of that is too, things that have never been done before doesn't mean that they're, you could always, communication is the key. If you never talk to, the people that are in charge of the hockey team or the soccer team or the baseball team or the indoor team, having an opportunity, it's going to take that guy, and that you're that guy, all they can do is say no, because Columbus, I always say this, and I've been here a long time, born and raised here. We are so fragmented. This town is not a multi-million population town. It's a little over a couple of 100,000. So, whether it's, the fraternities, the churches, the companies, the teams, everybody's fragmented. Even the high schools. You've been in the high school situation. If Pacelli is the only show in town as far as the postseason playoffs, what's wrong with Central and Carver and Kendrick cheering, everybody rooting for the team that's still there? But again, that part of it, I think that's what it's going to take to get this ball rolling. And of course, have 6, 7, 8,000 people in the Civic Center watching an arena football game.
No question about it, DJ. One of the first things I did was call the president of the River Dragons.
Yeah.
Just called them up, and they was like, "Whoa, y'all called?" Yeah, well, I called you. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's the right thing to do.
Right.
I think
That's right.
What you got to do next, call us the Clean Stones. Hey, man, let's talk. Hey, we're here. Let's partner. Let's figure out how to do this. And I just think that's things that some people don't do, what you think would seem like would be natural to some, but for some it's not. For me, it is. I just think that's part of building relationships, and that's what I do.
I tell you what, the successful people that you and I both know in sports, it's all about ego. We're males. Most of us, I'm talking males, and maybe some of the females, they can speak a different side of it. I know what I know, and I'm a male. And type A personalities, we think what we know is what we know, and our way is the right way. But those successful, those that are the greats that we've been around, you know what? They don't mind. Looking and seeing how it's done over there, and again, how we can make it better, how we can make this whole, not just this team better, but make this community better.
No question about it. And DJ, what I've learned over the last couple of years, that the best of the best collaborate at the top.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
They collaborate at the top. The best of the best do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna have to do in this city if we want to be successful.
I'm going to just say this, and I know if I piss somebody off, so be it. But again, those of us, and again, I talk about type A personalities, talk about elite personalities, elite athletes, or elite business people. What's mine is mine. I'm gonna put my arm around her. This is mine. No. No. Everybody can eat. If you open your arms up a little bit, everybody can eat. And again, Columbus, Georgia. If we can get that logo and that, of course, that mind frame that this is Columbus, Georgia, the Bi-City area. Again, I know Phoenix City and Fort Benning and all, they're part of that. But, just the Tri-City area to take ownership in everything that, of course, that they have with regards to their sports franchises. I mean, man, I tell you what, you'll be on your way. And I know you know that. And that's the exciting part about I get to see you unfold all of that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's 7:06. Let's put it all together and see what happened. And again, you heard what I said, 7:06.
Yes, sir.
Not the Columbus Lions, not anybody else named 7:06. So we're all one area code. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the 334s, because
334 right there. And I think that's a key right there, that I don't think we tap in and we include 334 with 7:06 enough. We got to bridge the gap. We're right there on the bridge. Let's bridge the gap more and more.
Coach, I got to say, I'm so excited. I cannot wait until March gets here. And Georgia Alabama Sports Live, once again, for the third year, is going to be the official live streaming partner of the Columbus Lions. I know that we put a lot of effort into those broadcasts. We're hoping that the broadcast can help promote the Lions even more, for them to want to come out to the Columbus Civic Center. This is just a message to your casual sports fan that lives in the area to come out to the Columbus Lions. I know the Clean Stones don't start until April. The River Dragons are still going to be playing. But why should a casual sports fan in Columbus want to see the Lions? And what type of product do we expect in 2026?
Fun, family fun, exciting, live. It's going to be a party. I see when I'm thinking about Columbus Lions, it's going to be a party. Like, y'all, let's go down here to the family party. It's like going to the family cookout. Y'all gonna see some different stuff. I know people say, man, it's the same old Lions. No, it ain't the same old Lions. Kind of like when I was at Pacelli. It wasn't the same old Pacelli. So we're gonna do some different things, Richard, and it's gonna be fun, man. That's what it's all about, fun. People, you gotta have something that's gonna attract them more than a football game. So you gotta have some more fun, entertainment, and we're working our best to try to bring that to the city.
Well, Corey, we are so proud of you, and congratulations to Roger as well as Damien. Of course, it's going to be a party, man. I tell you, and I'm going to just from where I sit and to watch all of this unfold, man. I tell you, every time and I saw you, 20 years ago when you were just a young pup, Now I see you, man. I really, really am proud. And again, excited to see the next episode and the next chapter in, of course, the life of Corey Black.
Thank you so much, DJ and Richard. Thank y'all for always supporting, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. You have a great rest of your morning. Take care.
You too.
Thanks, Coach. Oh, boy, I really enjoyed that. Welcome back. Of course, Corey Black, and, of course, he and Richard Roger Beck together, man. These guys, watch out. I tell you, man, nothing is not going to surprise me. I do know that, again, a lot of things have been untapped in this community regarding the arena football. But these two guys, they are here. They've been here, and of course, to add their touch onto what they've already started, and just to think about what they were able to add to the Pacelli marketing and promotions, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Columbus Lions this year.
Absolutely. If I know anything about the personality of Coach Black, I've gotten to know him for 3 years now, is he goes big. Like when he was the AD at Pacelli, now he's building what he's building at Emmanuel Prep. Now they got sports teams. I mean, what he has done is just been fascinating. I'm thinking he's going to have huge success with the Columbus Lions next year, and I can't wait.
Counting on the community to rally behind these guys, and of course, these they have been stand-up guys. That's one thing about it. They have been about service, and you talk about servant leadership, and you talk about community. Roger Beck and the Corey Black, these guys, they have you see a picture of them on the wall, and that when you're talking about that. So again, really, really excited, but it's going to take it. They can't just do it by themselves. It's going to take the efforts of everybody out there. And again, like I was saying, the whole sports community that it really needs to pour into this. And again, whether you're a hockey fan, whether you're a baseball fan, whether you're a soccer fan, whether you're a high school football sports fan, we need to adopt this team as our team here in Columbus. And again, all of them, we need to figure out a way to get it all done. And I think that we've got enough smart people. There's enough people that know and understand this town that can make that happen.
I honestly feel that cross promotion is the only way for success for these pro sports teams that we have in town. I don't want to see the bickering and, not affiliating with that professional team like I saw 3 years ago. We can't have that. Otherwise, these teams are not going to survive. We have got to rally around the River Dragons and the Lions and the Cleanstones, Columbus United FC. All these sports teams mean something, and you could be a fan of multiple sports teams. I mean, you don't have to just like the Lions. You could go to River Dragons games and Lions games, and I think that's very important. And that's why Coach Black talking about that cross promotion is going to be huge, especially for this upcoming season.
Well, I'm excited that we have the seat that we have and the platform that we have so that we can help them promote and market this thing. And again, we all want to be under one roof, and that's the roof of the Bi-City, Tri-City area. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, hey, look, don't go far. We got, of course, Glenwood Gators iconic basketball coach. His name is Dusty Perdue. He's coming up in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sportsvisions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sportsvisions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sportsvisions 92.1.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
This Black Friday, Allison will get to JCPenney by 5 a.m. for gifts and giveaways. All for Santa to get the credit. So maybe Santa should reward himself with some new earrings. Get giveaways all Black Friday that they don't have to know about. Because it's what they thought that counts. Yes, JCPenney. Giveaways in-store 11/28 only, while supplies last. Black Friday deals excluded from coupons. Other exclusions apply. Must be 18 or older. See store or jcp.com for details.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
She said, take your time.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. Good Monday morning. It's a memorable Monday. And of course, I tell you, man, it's Thanksgiving week, man. The kids are out of school. The administrators, the teachers, man, they are having a ball, just a relaxing laying in. But here's one guy that's not going to do it. He's just not going to. He's going to wake up at the crack of dawn and he's going to get on about his business. He's not going to sleep in to like most of you guys, the 9, 10 o'clock. Let's bring him up, Coach Dusty Perdue. How you doing, man? Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing this morning?
Wonderful, wonderful, Coach. Thank you for coming on. And again, I wanted to bring you on because you know that the most listeners are obviously when they're over the holidays. And, you know, with all that you've done and the lineage and of course, the DNA that you come from, that what better audience do we want to have to be able to go ahead and kind of reboot that and let everybody know there's a lot of people that know you, but there's a lot of people out there that need to know you who don't know you. So what the first thing I'm going to do, I want you to talk about that wonderful mother and father that you have come from, and of course, what they poured into you to become the great coach that you've become over at Glenwood.
Well, you've interviewed me a couple of times, and we've talked a couple of times, and you always shout out to your mom and dad when you're on there where you came from, and there's no doubt where I came from is all because of them and who you know, and it's not what you know, it's who you know most of the time, and it's who I've got to meet over the years. Bubba Ball and Debbie Ball are my parents, and
yes.
I came to Columbus, Georgia when I was 9 years old, and my dad was at Hardaway High School. Came there. I saw a picture on Who Do You Know in Columbus, Georgia. There was a picture of the Wild Man on that the other day, and he was my hero when I came to Columbus, Georgia. 6'9" with a big afro and could do anything he wanted to with the basketball and dunk it left and right. And Stacy Upshaw and all. I'm gonna bring up names that you'll know for sure back in the day.
Yeah.
I got to run out with them as a little bitty ball boy back in the day with my dad. He was at Shaw High School, then at Hardaway High School. Then Dr. Shaw wanted to start Shaw High School. And my dad was the first athletic director, and my mom, he took her with him over to Shaw. She was the first female PE teacher, and they started Shaw High School back in 1978. And my dad retired the year that I graduated. He got me out of high school, so he retired. And then I had two younger brothers, Austin and Alex. Austin went to Brookstone and was a 3-sport star at Brookstone. Alex went to Brookstone, and then his senior year wanted to play for his big brother, so he came to Glenwood and played for me at Glenwood. And then my mother is still racking up awards to this day. She's in several Hall of Fames. One thing about my mom that I'd like to say, DJ, besides sports, what we're missing these days in schools, and I have a problem with that some days too, and don't want to do it. My mom was a big proponent of physical education in high school. Was a great physical education teacher. We just didn't throw the ball out there and go shoot basketball or throw footballs. She taught PE from badminton to pickleball to volleyball, and you had skills tests. You had skills tests during PE. She was a skills person, and that was my mom. She's very well known for that, and being very well organized, being a great PE teacher, not only a coach, but yeah, I am who I am because of Debbie and Bubba Ball, and have gotten to meet a lot of great people in this world, including yourself and Richard, because of who they are, and just jumping on their wagon and following them in life, and have met some really, really cool people and some really, really great coaches throughout my life. I'm 56. I don't feel 56 now. I still feel like I'm a young man, but I think I was talking to Corey Black the other day, or Thrift. I'm the old man of all the coaches in the Bi-City area now. Everybody's a lot younger than me, and I didn't think about that. I said, thanks a lot for making me feel old, but everybody's going with young coaches these days. I'm about the oldest one out there now.
Coach, I've had the privilege of getting to know you the last couple of years, and you've had a unique situation at Glenwood, being the girls coach and the boys coach. I know that it's convenient for practice, but just talk about like what's that like just on game days, just coaching the girls and coaching the boys. I know the boys just got started on Saturday, but the girls have had a couple of games under their belt. And what's that experience been like for this season?
Well, they've played 5 games. They're 3-2. Probably should be 4-1 right now. Schley County beat us and is a really good basketball team. We played them 10 times. We might beat them 1. So, but the switch is I've got to learn, and I've learned over the years, it's a different motor for them. It's a different tone for them. You have to coach them a little bit different. You have to talk a little bit different. And I'm fine with it. A lot more I love yous at the end of practice when they leave to know you got to get them back the next day. It's tough. I mean, like you said, getting to control the gym, when you practice, how you practice, what time you can come in, what time you get to leave. That's all a really big deal. But as far as coaching them, a lot more emphasis in the preseason on them because I didn't have but 3 varsity players on the boys basketball team. 7 of them played football. And, got to spend a lot more time with them as far as X's and O's, getting ready, and most of them coming out of volleyball. Volleyball finished a lot earlier than football did, but I've enjoyed it. I really have. I've enjoyed being able to coach both. Play above the rim on the boys' side, play below the rim on the girls' side. So a lot more half-court offense on the girls' side, and that's a true statement. Picked up the pace a little bit this year with Hallie Palmore coming back, being able to get the ball up and down the floor. But that's the main thing, just X's and O's, pace of play, defense, offense, just stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun.
Coach Dusty Perdue is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. And I tell you, Coach, everybody loves a winner, and you know that. And again, of course, you guys have won over at Glenwood for a while and a multitude of sports. But I want you to help us understand, and again, I say us, the Sportsvisions, they should understand how difficult it is to have, sports that cross over, because here we are, in the playoffs with football, and then you got the basketball season start up. Again, how many football players did you have on playing football that you have to wait on now that the season's over? But if these guys were continuing on a run as they have been in the past, how do you get them back, and how do you get them acclimated, because they haven't been on the court, they hadn't been shooting? I mean, talk about what all goes into that.
It's a big deal, a lot bigger deal this year than it has been in the past. On the varsity boys, we'll have 10 boys. On the JV boys, we had 10 boys. 5 JV football players were still playing with the football team, and 7 varsity players were still playing with the football team. And I'd already canceled one game with Valley. Their girls were in the football playoffs and their boys and we were just going to play boys. And I said, Coach, I just can't play boys. I only have 3, and I don't really want to put the JV guys with the varsity right now, and just just throw some things off. At Glenwood, we've done. 21 years. Me and Coach Fanning's been there together. He's been there 25. I've been there 21. We've basketball season's the same way. I have a couple of his studs on my team that are pitchers and all that. We've just had to cross over, and scheduling is a big deal, especially now in Alabama high school. You try to guess. You want to guess that they're going to win it all, and you can start in December. But you sort of schedule some games just to see if they were to get knocked out in the playoffs. Can you play these? Can you not play these? I was going to play Coach Hill in Columbus High on Saturday, no matter what. My 3 varsity guys had put in a lot of work. They were tired of practicing against the JV, tired of just practicing. So I wanted them to play, and they were excited about playing. They were not pulling against the football team. They wanted the football team to win, and they went down there and played a great Southside team that was ready to play. They played really, really well. But they got home at 3 o'clock on Saturday morning and jumped over there with me at noon. And we played 3 games. We played a JV boys game, a varsity girls game, and a varsity boys game on Saturday. And that's why you do what you do in the summer. In June, the whole month of June will be your month of basketball. And they remembered a couple of things. They didn't forget how to put it in the hole, and they didn't forget how to run a couple of offenses and a couple of defenses. So, and I'm led by a really, really good freshman who has a chance to be the best freshman in the Bi-City. A lot of people have said that, not just me. And he was ready to play, and he was excited about getting on the basketball court.
Coaches, there's one thing that we've learned from all sports in Glenwood. When you lose key players that played a lot of minutes and they go on to graduate, that you've got guys that are willing to come in and fill that role. Obviously, last year, losing players like Levi Pender, Tyler Sykes, Mason McCrane. I mean, that was a lot of scoring and a lot of stats that went on to graduate. Just talk about, we know Braylon Alexander and his accolades, and he had a fantastic game against Columbus. But talk about some of those other players that are coming in, and they're going to be getting bigger roles this year, especially with the minutes they're going to be playing.
Well, the 4 that you're going to add with him right now, you said their names all fall in the football program. You got the 2 brothers, Tyler and Trey, the Clarity brothers, who play with a lot of heart, just awesome teammates and can actually play, are really, really good. Then their cousin, Gray Garner, number 52 in football, outside linebacker that had a great, great football season. And then the big man, Aaron Carter, down lineman for the football team, 6'3", about 285. He'll be our post player. So you're talking about those 5 right there going to probably be our main starters. And then everybody else is going to get a chance to play. We only play with 10, so those guys going to need a break. And you got Ryder Christensen and Marcus Lattimore. Those 2 guys are new to us, but they're both 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", can actually play and put the ball in the hole. Then you got Noah Hudler, who's been practicing all fall, C.Y. Phillips, who's been practicing all fall, and Caden Edwards, who's been practicing really, really he's on the football team. But those are our 10 guys. I mean, there's no secret. We're not hiding anybody. Those are the ones we're going to play with, and we'll play even with an up-tempo with Braylon leading the show. We'll play a little bit faster than we have been in the past, and it'll be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun Saturday, I'll tell you that. I didn't have to do much coaching.
Coach Perdue, I'm going to pivot for a minute, if you will, and I know you don't want me to say this, but I'm going to say this anyway. The fact of the matter that you, as well as Tim Fanning, and, of course, when we talk about, the other coach that is on my mind, Ryan Nelson, or
Ron Nelson.
Ron, it ought to be against the law for all the 3 of you guys to be at one school, because again, of all the success and all the knowledge that you have in one program, you guys have really done a tremendous job. And the fact that those kids, you've been able to motivate those kids to get on the page. But I want to talk more about Glenwood as I recollect it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Glenwood has always had a decent program. But I mean, I think though over the last several years, there have been more talk about the program. And I know that credit goes to a lot of different social media platforms, TV, radio, the fact that Sportsvision came on the scene and Georgia Alabama Sports Live came on the scene. But you guys are responsible for motivating those kids. Glenwood is just not just a catchphrase anymore. Glenwood is a household name in the Chattahoochee Valley. Talk to that. Speak to that, would you?
I was at school at Shaw High School from 1984 to 1983 to 1987. I didn't even know what Glenwood was. I didn't know there was a Glenwood. It's been around since 1970. This year we'll celebrate our 56th year. And Glenwood, where is that at? I don't know anything about a Glenwood. You talk about Phoenix City, all I know is Central. And then I know there's Smith Station. So that is a true statement. When I was coaching at Calvary Christian as the girls coach back in 1999, Coach Key, of course, everybody knows the legendary Doug Key. He was coaching at Glenwood and was the athletic director. And he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming and working for me next year?" I said, "Well, I'll talk to you, Coach. You know, we'll see." I said, "I'm just getting into this high school stuff." And I went over and talked to him, went to the school, looked at the school, great layout, beautiful campus. I said, "Man, this is like an oasis somewhere." I didn't know where this place was, and talked to him and came on and didn't realize that he had a plan already that he wanted to turn the basketball program over to me the next year. That was back in 2005, and he did that. And, I've been there ever since. But I'm just telling you, Tim has done a great job as the athletic director at Glenwood. Baseball has always been the number one sport at Glenwood. I mean, they have 24 state championships, maybe 25 now. Richard probably knows more about that than I do, but they got a lot. I know that. And the baseball program being the head of that. And then we've had coaches over there before like Wayne Trawick, Sammy Howard, Jason Gibson, who coached at the Lions, and then Ryan Nelson, who is doing it now, is another son football coach, the son of Ron Nelson, who's a legend from Central, and Ron's on our staff here. Got the greatest job ever, driver's education teacher that drives to Chick-fil-A every day. That's a real tough job he's got there. But we've got him, and then we've got Josh McConnell now coaching the softball program. Our volleyball program with Kayla Strength is unbelievable. Does a great job. Has advanced in the Alabama high school the past 2 years. I mean, we've got some really, really cool things going on at Glenwood, and you're right about that. And I appreciate you saying that, DJ, that we're just not the little brother anymore, which we are small compared to everybody else, but we are relevant. I mean, we're not going to win every game, but we compete, and we have some good student athletes, and we have some good leadership at our school. But Glenwood it's great to be put on the map a little bit, that people are asking to play us. Not just because they think they can beat us because we're smaller, but because they know that we're well coached, we have good kids, and we're going to compete. So that's a really big deal to us.
Coach, I want to briefly talk about the rivalry with Lee Scott, because it's a very special rivalry. There's no love lost between these two schools. It's always heated up there in Auburn and definitely at Glenwood. We've had some incredible moments on the girls' side and the boys' side. I could think of one when Braylon Alexander stole the ball from Hayden Harper, who's a Troy commit, one of the top players in Alabama, and just facing off against Lee Scott. What does this rivalry mean to the school? And, just having that relationship with their AD and knowing that, there's a lot of respect there with both schools.
There is. I don't think the rivalry is strong because you got to have a rivalry. Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Auburn and Georgia. But ours is special. It really is. And it's not that the coaches or the players dislike. I think it's the outside world that dislikes. I respect their coaches. We talk maybe once or twice a week, just talking about basketball or just talking about things in general. But the rivalry is very strong. And it was there when I came with Coach Key back in 2004, 2005. And he told me, he said, "Hey, we're fixing to go up to this place called Lee Scott, and they hate us. I'm just telling you right now, when we walk in there, we're going to walk in there and you're going to hear words you don't want to hear. You're going to see things you don't want to see. And he said, and your job is to keep these kids under control. He said, I'll take care of the rest. Drive the bus, get us there. I'll coach the team. But your job is, I said, Coach, you just gave me the hardest job in the gym. He said, yep. And then he said, that's why you're the young guy. I'm the old guy. And I said, yes, sir. And it's been that way ever since. I mean, I'm not kidding y'all. It's not just the major sports. It's golf. It's tennis. It's volleyball. It's anything. And I'll tell you this, Richard, and we didn't start this, okay? And they're really they come up with some cool stuff in this social media stuff. Richard, if you ever look on social media when Glenwood's going to play Lee Scott and they put stuff on, have you caught on to what they do when they are posting stuff on social media?
Yes, they cross out the G in Glenwood.
They cross out every G
Every
in
G.
every word. Every G. Hey, DJ, there's some cool stuff now. Every G in it. We hadn't come up with nothing yet. We don't know what to do. We're thinking about putting an L in parentheses that when they lose to us. I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do, but their social media people are really, really good. Every G in every word. I mean, it's some cool stuff that they do. But it's a fun rivalry. I enjoy playing it. The gym is always packed. It'll be packed again this year. They got a great team, boys and girls, led by some good players. And it's always a fun time. It really is.
Coach, I know that you made mention of it. You were just kind of saying it, but it's the truth. You're tongue in cheek. You are one of the veteran coaches around, and you've been getting a little long in the tooth. But that's good because obviously we need people like you and myself to continue to get the information out there because the younger coaches, the younger players, the younger parents, they need to know the shoulders that they're standing on. But with that said, I'm going back to again patting you on the back. We know the Big Bad Central. Smith Station with Blair Harrison has been added to bring that program back. We know what Larry Knox and, of course, Dylan Griggs and those guys, and of course, are doing over at Russell County. But Glenwood with you guys, the big three that I named. But you have to feel really, really good about the entire area of, again, how all the other little program, I say little program, all the other programs around the Big Bad Central has come to pass. I mean, it's. Once upon a time, it was the only place to go. But now you got to think. You got to scratch your head. You're looking. You got other places. You got 3 other choices out there now. How does that feel?
It feels great. It feels great just to be included in their names. I mean, you go back to Coach Fanning. He started the little. He was calling it, I think, the Phoenix City Classic or the Bi-City Classic last year when he put the little baseball tournament together. It was the Big Four. Smith Station couldn't play because Central and them are in the same region in baseball. But you had Russell County, Central, and Glenwood playing at Darnell. And I thought that was really, really cool. I hated that Smith Station couldn't play, but I understand why they didn't. And then, your good friend Chris Blackshear, I hate to throw his name out there because he gets enough publicity as it is. Before we started all this a couple of years ago, and we couldn't do it, he even said something about, hey, why don't you try to get a little basketball tournament together with those people? And I said, well, let my team get a little bit better before we try to run up against those juggernauts. I said, we're talking about David and Goliath in every game. I said, but that would be, even if we did it with girls, I mean, that would be something fun to do. I don't know if they could fit me in their schedule or not, but, that's something to talk about in the future now that we're relevant. I mean, we just have to keep our program rolling. I mean, it is really tickled that, Central's on Hobb. They're on their street over there down Somerville Road, and we're on the other end. And then I say across the railroad tracks is Smith Station. And, we'll probably end up playing them in basketball in the years to come. But our softball team is playing Central and Smith Station this coming year, along with their baseball team. And then I am going down to 431, and me and Mr. Battle are good friends. I've known him from way back. I was one of those that cheered him when he was at Auburn, and we're going to go down there and play basketball at Russell County and probably bite off more than we can chew, but at least we're going to play. And then we're going to have Russell County coming to Glenwood. So I'm tickled about that. I'm going to play Eufaula there and at home. So just trying to get my feet wet. DJ, one thing you need to understand, Terrence called me, and we set that game up on Saturday to play Columbus High. I've reached out, and I'm not dogging any Columbus schools, so please don't take that this way. but they can't play me or don't want to play because of the what is the max preps, the what is that's called that the Georgia high school does to try to get them on into the playoffs. What?
Power rank.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they don't get any points when they play me in their power rankings because I'm from out of state. Well, next year they're totally going to power rankings. So I don't know if I'll get to play any of them at all, or some like Morgan County's coming to my Border Wars. He said, I don't care about that power rankings thing. It'll take care of itself. And he's ranked like number 6 or number 7 in 2A in basketball. So that's the thing. Some wanted to play, some couldn't play because of their schedule, but Terrence wanted to play early, and we did that. So, I'm not going to go over there and play on the hill. I can go ahead and tell you that now. I'm not going over there and play those jokers. I mean, we played them in JV last year, and they said, Coach, why aren't you calling timeout? I said, man, I'm trying to get this thing over with as fast as I can. I'm not calling timeout. I said, they got a few more dudes than we do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
But,
indeed.
just stuff. Hey, and DJ, I'll take you back a little bit. I really get tickled when I see people like Coach Davis and I see people like Coach Flowers getting their flowers and people like that, because those are the people's shoulders that I'm standing on. You understand what I'm saying? I
Yes,
get
sir.
real tickled. I don't ever want to forget those days. I don't want to forget the Herman Archies and the Marshall Archies and the DJ Jones and Pookie and Wayne and all those guys that I grew up cheer on this side of the river. Bo Peep and Ed King and all those guys. I don't want to forget those guys, because those are the people's shoulders that I'm standing on to be able to coach and do what I do now. And that's where that's where I come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
being the elder guy now, I want those people to know that's who I am and where I come from, and just trying to feed into the future.
Coach, at Georgia Alabama Sports Live, we are chomping at the bit because we cannot wait to get out there to call some Glenwood boys. I know we've already called some girls games, but I know that we've got on the schedule. You guys are playing Chaco December the 2nd. You guys are going down to Dawson, right, to play Terrell Academy?
We got practice this morning at 9. Finally, an official boys practice this morning at 9 o'clock. And then we're going to Terrell to play them at 4 and 5:30 tomorrow. And then we're going to have off until next week. And then I'm going to go down there and we're going to try to hem up Champ Simpson and the Chattahoochee County team. They're really, really good, beating some really good teams so far. But they came to my Border Wars last year, and I returned the favor to them this year. We're going to play JV boys and varsity boys only because my schedule for the girls was already full with 30 games. So that's what we're going when we get back into it, coming back from Thanksgiving.
Coach Perdue, as always, we appreciate you coming on, man. And obviously, like I said, I appreciate that history lesson because, again, I tell you, I want to make sure that those folks, those young kids out there, and again, we call them kids because we are a little bit older than most, but they don't forget about those great names. Of course, your mom and dad. And again, I'm talking about all the names that we've been throwing out here in this past 20 minutes or so. But it's really important, and I thank you for helping me do that.
Well, no problem, DJ. I'm always here. DJ, you know what? I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I'll throw this at you, but I know that schedule is really, really busy of yours in that phone. I mean, I know that calendar is full. But DJ, how about you coming out at least 1 or 2 games at Border Wars and call a couple of games? I'd love to see you out there. I really would.
All right. I don't have a problem with that. Like you said, if I can line it up just right, I will be there, Coach. Because again,
if they put Richards out, if they put me, you, and Thrift on that microphone, I don't know if we'll get words in that people will understand.
Well, you're right about that, man, and that's something to think about. We'll talk about it. We'll meet with Thrift, of course, and he's the big boss at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So,
well, he's doing great things. I know he's spreading his wings and getting out there a little bit more. I saw the announcement of Middle Georgia, how awesome that's going to be with those teams and those schools over there. And I've been doing this a long time. I know several coaches in that area. If I could help in any way, I'd love to help. And this is a job that I'm looking at doing. I'm coming to that program when I retire from this job. I just want y'all to know.
And while we're talking about Thrift, I want some receipts, Coach. You talk about how hell of a jump shot he had and a three-pointer.
Yep.
You got any photographs from the old yearbook or anything? Because, again, in this age of social media, Thrift, for whatever reasons, he doesn't share it. I want you to share some of those old pictures of Thrift.
I will find them today, and I will get them to you. I'll even go in the office to see if there's a yearbook in there. Absolutely.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Coach. Have a great rest of your morning.
Same to y'all guys. Thank y'all for having me.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Dusty Perdue, I tell you, man, he is a hoot.
Oh, what a great interview. Always great personality. Always enjoy chopping it up with Coach Perdue.
Absolutely. Who better would you love for your kids to play for? I mean, this guy can go back and, quite a few years, but he's still got that youth and that personality to deal with the kids today. I think it's a gem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I enjoyed talking with him last week. It was my daughter's Thanksgiving luncheon at Glenwood. It's just when you think of Glenwood and just giving back to those kids, Coach Perdue, I can't think of anybody better.
I'm serious, though. I want a picture of Thrift shooting.
I know. We got to get a picture of him shooting somewhere.
I'm hearing all of these doggone folks tell me how good of a sharpshooter he was. And anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back to talk about more. You are watching Facebook Live as well as, of course, YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress on January the 5th. Her announcement comes after her fallout with President Donald Trump over the Epstein files, being called a traitor and sharing criticisms on some of the Trump administration's policies. In Lynette, authorities are searching for a gunman who opened fire on a Lynette officer and struck the patrol vehicle several times Sunday off Veterans Memorial Parkway. Investigators say the officer was not harmed, and the Lynette Police Department is asking anyone with information about the incident to contact them. UAB football player Daniel Mincy is charged with attempted murder for stabbing two of his teammates. He was arrested on Sunday. Interim coach Alex Mortensen is glad to say the two players are expected to survive. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Monday morning. We are starting off the day mostly clear and chilly with those readings in the 40s and a few 50s. Plenty of sun in the forecast today with a mix of sun and clouds. Those highs still climb well above average in the upper 70s later this afternoon. Tonight, mild and partly cloudy, lows in the upper 50s. We are tracking a strong cold front arriving Tuesday with showers and storms. A few of those could be strong. The front clears early Wednesday and then a cooler Thanksgiving forecast.
I have a friend, about 50, had a bad accident and couldn't go back to work. If you're between the ages of 49 and 63 and can't go back to your job because of a physical or mental disability, Social Security could pay you as much as $3,800 a month. If you or a family member is unable to work because of a disability, call the Social Security Disability Helpline. Our team will give you a free case review and explain to you how much money you're entitled to. And you won't pay anything unless we get you benefits. See if you or a family member is entitled to close to $45,000 a year in Social Security disability funds. Remember, this is not something for people over the age of 65. If you're under 65 and can't work, call now.
800-413-7642. 800-413-7642. That's 800-413-7642.
Attorney advertising, Georgia. Attorney 770, good law car accident lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top Dawgs does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
Just can't sit here and beat the press. Gotta get up. Gotta stop feeling sorry for yourself. Looking at your friend like, I'ma get up. Try and be funny. You know what type of accident I had. If I could get up, I would get up. Talking about get up. That was very insensitive. You know I ain't even mean it like that. I mean, get up and stop being sorry for yourself. Again, how I'ma get up? You know I can't walk. Taking everything personal. Never mind. What did Top Dawg say? Top Dawg said he gonna get him. Gonna go bite him. Matter of fact, this is Top Dawg calling me right now. Hello? You got him? You bit him? Yeah, top dog. Tell me where you bit them at. Tell me, did they scream? Tell me why they hurt. Tell me what's they mad. Any accident, call the dog. Top dog law.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Yates Insurance, a full-service employer and executive benefits firm offering tailored solutions. Founded on the principle of customer service and a commitment to your goals. Grown by building on experience and eagerness to explore new benefit options. Property casualty, your insurance needs, and HR service solutions for your company. Your benefit plan affects the health and prosperity of your employees and your company. At Yates Insurance, you get expertly crafted plans to meet your needs. Plan, design, and implementation. Yates Insurance, your benefit partner. Visit yatesins.com.
Catch the Paul Feinbaum Show, 3 to 7 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's three-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion, DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Monday and welcome to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. Richard, I really enjoyed that interview with Coach Dusty Perdue, man. I tell you, he's a lifer. And again, I meant every bit of it when I was saying that the fact of the matter is, he can go back, and of course he's, go back a few decades, but yet and still he's young enough and has enough enthusiasm to keep the kids today. Because again, it's two separate groups of people that when he first started coaching and whether that and the kids that he's coaching now, if he didn't have the versatility to be able to adapt, if you will, I'll just use that word, then you know what, it would be a tough road to go. And he has won then, and he's winning now.
Adapting to the kids today, that's what Coach Perdue has done. He has been relatable to his kids, whether it's, having like a podcast together, interviewing his players. I always thought that was very entertaining. And that's the one thing about Coach Perdue is like he gives back to the community. There's so much stuff that he does. We forgot to mention, and I don't know if he wanted us to mention this, but he's also an umpire for softball in the fall.
Okay.
And so that's always great. And it's especially like when we're seeing him in the GHSA playoffs and stuff.
Right.
It's great to see Coach Perdue out there when we're live streaming a softball game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's like, hey, Coach, he might be behind the plate. Sometimes I'll see him if he's like umpiring at second base. I'll try to give him the nod because I know he's in game and not, but it's great to seeing Coach Perdue out in the community and doing wonderful things in the world of sports.
Yes, indeed. All right, Richie, it's Memorable Monday, and you know what that means. I'm going to throw something at you, and I want you to help us understand and relate to, of course, what went on in your life in that particular time. I want to ask you, when was the first time that you can remember having your daughter or daughters involved in sports, organized sports?
Well, a couple of times. My oldest daughter's 12. She started doing gymnastics when she was about 5. And then my youngest daughter, she's been doing gymnastics since she was 4, and she's still doing gymnastics to this day. My oldest daughter, not really into sports as much as my youngest daughter. They both played soccer. About 3 years ago, they actually played at CYSC. And a fun fact, my youngest daughter was on the team they're called the Pizzazz. It was an under-8 team, and along with the Hardaway athletic director, Coach Kelly Ellison, and her daughter.
Nice.
So the funny thing is, I was at a soccer game, and I kind of knew of Coach Ellison because it was 2022, and we had Hardaway knew about the basketball team and stuff. And I was like, oh, hey, Coach, how you doing? I ran into her at a soccer game, and it kind of put 2 and 2 together. And I thought that was pretty cool moment. But they don't play soccer anymore. But my youngest daughter is focused on gymnastics. And we've got a big meet coming up in December in Carrollton. I know that she's on the silver team. They did not compete this past weekend. It was basically the gold team that was competing. And that's why we were a part of that. It was a great weekend. The Columbus Sports Council at the Lumpkin Center. We had gymnastics, level 4, level 5 state competition, gymnastic teams from all over the state of Georgia. What a fantastic event that the Columbus Sports Council put on. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Glad you were a part of it as well. I got to go back and, of course, give big shouts out to, of course, Coach Ian Headley and the Brookstone Cougars. They came up short. However, again, this season was an exciting one for the Brookstone Cougars, and especially under the first-year coach. And down in Macon, you guys were there. Obviously, what was the atmosphere like?
Atmosphere was pretty good, especially for those Macon teams. They brought the fans. John Millage, like 45 minutes away from Macon, they brought a lot of fans. Deerfield Windsor actually brought a lot of fans from Albany. Of course, Brentwood, a local team over there in Sandersville. And obviously, I wasn't there for the Brookstone Stratford game, but I could tell on the broadcast it was an electric atmosphere that the Brookstone fans came out. Obviously, it was a home field advantage for Stratford Academy being in Macon, but the venue itself is top notch. That was the first time I've ever been at Five Star Stadium. I've always wanted to go to a Mercer game because they are one of the top teams in the FCS. And you could see the championships banners, and they've won the SoCon the last couple of years, and they're going to be in the playoffs. I was actually talking to some of the workers. They're going to be hosting an FCS playoff game. They got to buy for the first round, so they're getting excited about that. I know that's going to be nationally televised, and I think that this is a stadium that was built back in 2013 when they built up the Mercer football stadium and the football team. And it's an incredible venue. I think that the GIAA did an outstanding job picking this venue, and what a huge success this weekend.
Success indeed. Big shout out to Opelika. The Bulldogs beat up on Auburn 31-28 to advance to the finals.
Yeah, first thing I did Saturday morning, I congratulated their play-by-play announcer, Van Riggs. I know he's excited. Opelika, which they used to be a 6A school. They've made it to the state championship a couple of times. They have never won a state championship. This is huge for the Opelika Bulldogs. They got a tough task having to play Thompson, who's won 5 out of the last 6 years, but I'm excited for them. Getting that big victory over their longtime rival Auburn is great for the Bulldogs.
How about those George Washington Carver Tigers? They continue to boat race their way to, of course, hopefully the finals. They get to go to not the finals, but the next level, the next game, on the next bracket with regards to taking out Stevens County 56-0.
Yeah, this is a freight train that's still going 100 miles an hour, and I can't think of a team that could even slow them down. Look, Thompson's good. They were ranked 6th for a reason. They beat a good Callaway team. But if Carver continues playing Carver football, it doesn't matter if they're going to be at Otis Spencer Stadium. It doesn't matter if they're going to be on the road. I think they're going to make it to the state championship. Now, the number 1 team, Carver Atlanta, has to play Sumter County. That's going to be a great matchup in the quarterfinals. Still got some good teams left in the bracket, like Morgan County, and then Rockmart, the number 2 seed. They're taking on Burke County. But I think what Coach Jarvis Jones has built and the way they have been beating their opponents in the first 2 rounds, it's exciting to see. By the way, Georgia Alabama Sports Live will be on the NFHS network on Friday for Carver Thompson at Otis Spencer Stadium. Can't wait for that.
Good deal. Good deal. Matter of fact, Lynette, big shout out to Coach McDonough as well as Coach Story over there. Lynette beat up on Luverne 35-16 to keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, when you think of Lynette, I mean, I think of those 2 state championships that Coach Clifford Story won in 2017 and 2019 with an incredible staff with Coach Siegel and Buckets. And I feel like Lynette is back. RJ McDonald, he's done a fantastic job as the coach in his first year, and Coach Story as the AD. They ended up beating a very good Luverne team. They're having to go on the road, taking on Reeltown. I think that this Lynette team could win a state championship, which would be awesome for that community.
Now, I'll tell you what, coming out of an area where you got Troop, Callaway, but the LaGrange, Grangers advanced, beating up on North Hall 52-28.
How about the job that Coach Napier has done? Getting to the semifinals last year, back in the quarters, it's got to feel that LaGrange knows how to win and make deep runs, and they beat an undefeated North Hall team that was second as far as the power rankings, having to go on the road, taking on Stevenson. But LaGrange back in the quarters. It's been great for Granger Nation.
Good deal. Good deal. Tell you what, let's talk a little bit about, the Auburn Tigers. We're going to, we got to be happy. But you know what? There's a name that comes up. And when you talk about a guy by the name of Deuce Knight, you're like, who? For those of us who are into the Auburn program, but you've been hearing that name and you know that he's a talented young quarterback. But what in the hell was Hugh Freeze thinking? Have this guy come off the bench. He runs for 4 touchdowns, throws for 2 touchdowns, damn near 500 yards on the ground and in the air alone against Mercer the other day.
Yeah, I don't get it because you see him in practice. Are you trying to? You don't want to give up the red shirt on him, so that's why you're not playing him. If he's your best athlete that gives you the best chance to win, why not play him? Hugh Freeze would probably still be the coach at Auburn. Yes, I understand it was Mercer. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Auburn has found their quarterback. And I think that Deuce Knight, a little bit more of a challenge in the Iron Bowl. But, man, the quarterback play, whether it's Peyton Thorne last year, Jackson Arnold this year, has been atrocious. And to have a guy like very promising, 5-star dual-threat quarterback in Deuce Knight, if Auburn could figure out the quarterback, they could be back into the conversation of being one of the top teams in the SEC because they got the defense already.
I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a break and come right back and talk about that and other SEC things that are happening because, again, how in the hell can you hide Deuce Knight?
You're hiding him. I don't know.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. The VA Health and Benefits app is like a one-stop shop for veterans. They can view or cancel VA medical appointments, send and receive messages from healthcare providers, and download VA benefit letters to provide veteran status or disability payments. Veterans can also manage existing VA claims, refill VA prescriptions, and get quick access to the VA crisis line. Download the Health and Benefits app on your iPhone or at the Google App Store, or wherever you normally get your mobile apps. If you already use this app, please share your feedback on your phone's app store. That's the VA Health and Benefits mobile app. This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA disability compensation is a monthly tax-free payment to veterans who got sick or injured in the military and to veterans whose service worsened an existing condition. You may qualify for VA disability compensation for physical and mental health conditions that developed or worsened due to service. Learn more at va.gov/disability.
We got out of Washington State, and I think a week after, state went on lockdown for COVID.
So then when we transitioned to Texas, it was very much so like, what are we going to do now?
Operation Homefront has allowed our family to make something of ourselves again in the world after military.
It's completely changed the way our life is. It took us from a hopeless situation, and now we're homeowners. We have a savings account. I'm the first one to own a home out of my siblings.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show. Get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge. Good Monday morning, everybody. It's Memorable Monday. And, of course, Richie Rich, he basically in the segment past, he talked about his daughter having opportunity to play soccer. Was it, Richard? Give me, for the folks that are just joining us, revisit that, will you?
Yeah, she played soccer for a couple of years at CYSC. That was in, I want to say 2023. It's been a while, but she's mainly focused on gymnastics now.
So you were a soccer dad at one time?
Yeah, I was a soccer dad. Just making sure that the kids got the snacks, taking the daughter's soccer practice, making sure her cleats and soccer ball were in the soccer bag, and making sure you have your folding chairs, because you go out to Woodruff Farms soccer complex, there's really no bleachers there, so you got to bring your folding chairs, or you could just make sure you get your exercise and just walk around the soccer complex.
Memorable Monday for me, obviously. Before there was the SEC network, there was the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network, and of course there was the Georgia Bulldog Sports Network, and WSB was one of the the big station in Atlanta, both television and radio. They had the rights to do Georgia games. They had 4 or 5 games that they would do, and Bob Neal was on the call, and I had the privilege of being in the booth prior to the SEC network. So that'll be my memorable Monday of being in and I've had the opportunity to be in the booth with some legendary, Jim Fife. Jim Fife, back during the Columbus War Dogs back in 2001, 2, and 3. He was also the voice of the Auburn Tigers, and he was also voice of the Columbus War Dogs. He did the play-by-play. I did the color with him. Back to Bob Neal and the University of Georgia, having the opportunity to be in the booth with another icon. It's just tremendous. And then having an opportunity to call games with Tim Marshall and the likes of Thrift Behringer and others. I mean, I've been blessed, man. I've been around. I've seen some guys, some of the iconic guys, and I've seen the up-and-coming guys. And I tell you, man, it doesn't matter. High school, college, people ask you, which one do you enjoy most? I enjoy football. I enjoy a good game. I don't like blowouts, whether it's a high school game or whether it's a collegiate game. I love a great competitive game back and forth where there's a lot of enthusiasm, and you can see that these kids and these men are passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah, I always enjoy listening to your announcing, DJ. I gotta find out some archive footage of you on WSB, because if this was before the SEC network, I'm guessing it was before 2014. I'm thinking early 2000s, back in the Mark Rick era, David Green.
2010 to be exact.
2010.
Yeah,
okay,
2006,
so
yeah.
right when Mark Rick was still there, and they had Aaron Murray was the quarterback, and then
actually, you know what, you're dating me, but yes. Okay. You go back 2010, 11, 12, yeah.
Okay. So you had a privilege of calling Isaiah Crowell his freshman year.
Actually, I can't remember if I did that or not. But again, the bottom line, so you're dating me. You and Thrift, y'all got all of these days. You got that young brain, and I can tell you what happened, and you can see the receipts on social media when I put up the pictures of me, with Bob, and of course whether it's Jim Fife or whoever it might be, but. All these specific things, I can't get too detailed because, again, I mean, my memory, you remember all the collisions that I've been involved in. So you got to remember that, huh?
Well,
take it easy on the old guy.
No, I know, DJ. I bring that up because I actually started paying attention to Georgia football in 2006 when I moved to Georgia.
Yeah.
People remember, I'm not originally from Georgia, so I recently followed them in about 20 years now.
20 years.
Yeah, I didn't really have a college football team growing up because I'm from California.
And, you have to be careful when you say that. I heard you make mention to, I don't know whether it was Brinson or somebody, you was like, people in California, they don't care anything about football. That's a damn lie. USC, UCLA. No. These are huge teams that have been in UCLA and USC and the likes. I mean, that's not to mention the California Bears and not the Cal and Stanford. Man, come on now. You're doing your California natives a disservice.
To be fair, DJ, yeah, I'm doing them a disservice. If you went to the school, I had people I went to high school with who went to Berkeley that are Cal fans,
right,
that went to Stanford. But if you're growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, the Cal-Stanford rivalry is nothing like Michigan, Ohio State, nothing like the Iron Bowl. It's okay. It's like
when you say it like that, I can understand it. But to throw the blanket statement out there, people from California don't care about college football. No, Richie. I've been to California on a number of occasions, and these people really care about. Matter of fact, they care about their high school football in California because it's been rumored for years the best high school football players play in California.
Yeah, no question about it. When I was in high school, the most talked about team was De La Salle. They had the longest winning streak in the nation. And I know that I just have to go back and just look at it was a blanket statement, and just because of some of the experiences I had when I was in California, and it was a complete culture shock when I got to the South.
Yes, well, that's for everybody. Again, everybody out of the that's other than that comes out in the Midwest. But yeah, I'm proud of it, man. It's a religion. Football is a religion in the southeastern part of the United States.
It's just different. It means more. It's the SEC.
It does. I think before we went to that break, we were talking a little bit about what were we talking about? Falcons, or what were we talking about? Because again, we
were talking about some of the NFL games that happened.
Yeah. And your favorite team, obviously, did their thing. Or are they going to be?
They're
tonight?
playing tonight. It's a huge game for playoff implications. The 49ers hosting the Carolina Panthers, and Christian McCaffrey facing his former team.
You better be watching out for these Carolina Panthers because
Bryce Young, he's
Yeah.
improved every year. People thought he was a bust when
love
he
it.
came out, but he's just improved every year.
I love it, but I still, again, the NFL gets exposed each and every year, every couple of years or so, because they bring these young players into the league without any resources, meaning they don't have any, weapons, or they don't have an offensive line. But they throw all this money on them, and then they give them a couple of years, and then they call them bums.
And I don't get that. Sometimes you fall into the right situation, the GM, the coach, the system, the team itself, the culture. Sometimes you have a player like Brock Purdy, who was drafted, the last pick in the draft in 2022. He's on a rookie deal, and you have a great team around you. You got to remember these rookie contracts. If you go to a bad team that doesn't have an offensive line, I just don't understand how the Jets can't figure out getting the quarterback right. They draft Sam Darnold. He's having success in Seattle. He's had success in Minnesota. They draft Zach Wilson. I mean, they just can't figure out the quarterback. I'm glad that the Chicago Bears finally got the quarterback right. Caleb Williams is the real deal, and they're 8-3.
Somebody need to package that whole deal, that whole concept of how they brought this kid along, because you know what? For every Caleb Williams, there's 10 others that fail.
There's Josh Rosen.
Also, again, while we're talking, let's talk about this Atlanta Falcons, man. Went down to New Orleans, of course, the Big Easy. And they took out the New Orleans Saints. And now you can talk about how sorry or how bad the records are, but the bottom line is this is another one of those rivalries, and it just so happened to be at the NFL level that it doesn't matter if these teams were undefeated or if they were winless. These guys are going at it because they just generally don't like each other.
Well, can I say something, DJ, about the Falcons?
Sure.
There's no reason to root against them and say, "Oh, I hope the season's over. I hope they just lose all their games." What's good? What good is that going to do?
Are you talking to Thrift?
No, I'm not. The Rams own their draft pick, so you cannot think like that. This is a rivalry game. You throw out the record books. Yes, I know the Saints have a rookie quarterback in Tyler Show, and they don't really have a good team. It's been a disaster of a year. But the Falcons had the players. Kirk Cousins did a good job, besides throwing that pick six. These are winnable games. And with the Buccaneers losing to the Rams on Sunday night, the Falcons actually have a chance to win this division. There's winnable games on their schedule. They play the Buccaneers on a Thursday night. They play the Jets next week. Winnable games. Yes, of the two games that I think that they could lose, Seattle and Los Angeles, every other game is a winnable game, DJ. I think the Falcons, they're not out of it. I think they can still make the playoffs.
Well, I guess I'm going to throw this in there because, again, I'm not wishing any bad on anybody. But the fact of the matter is, before we take a break, I got a quick second to throw this in. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, the guy that everybody poured out with the bathwater, of course, was ready for him to get loose to leave town. Well, Michael Penix is not coming back. Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback. Was that great quarterback that Atlanta saw when they offered him that $180 million or whatever it was. He had a great game yesterday. 37-year-old guy brought us back from a five-game losing streak. Now, Kirk Cousins has done it before, and I think he'll do it again. He's going to look like the best thing since sliced bread. Now what?
Oh, boy. Now you're going to have a situation like you keep both Cousins and Penix, because I do think that you keep Penix. He's the future.
Penix, not
Penix.
Penix.
Okay. That's just me.
That
From California.
yeah.
That's a California accent, not pronouncing any of these names properly.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll come back. But actually, we're going to hear from a guy that knows a little bit more about Georgia Tech than most. His name is Mr. Chad Bishop.
That's
and
right.
He's going to be with us. He's the beat writer for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on behalf of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
I fall for you every time I try.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans, do you have a copy of your DD-214? A DD-214 is a DoD certificate of retirement, separation, or discharge from active duty. It verifies your eligibility for benefits and services. The fastest way to request a copy is through the National Archives and Records Administration at archives.gov. Get the benefits you've earned.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the GHSA, are the 195,000 high school sports and performing arts students in Georgia. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. You're waking up with a Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Good Monday morning and welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. It's a great day for a great day, and I tell you what, pleased to have with us this morning. He is a beat writer for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets on behalf of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. His name is Chad Bishop. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Hey, man, it's good. It's good. Hey, look, unfortunately, didn't get to win at Pitt, but that's not going to have any bearing whatsoever as far as the emotions that go into this next ball game. But before we get to the next ball game, a clean old-fashioned hate, let's unpack the Pitt game and whatever positives we can pull out of that. Let's do that, Chad, right now.
Well, I went into that thing thinking that this could go one of two ways. Pitt's either going to blow out Tech or it's going to go down to the wire for a game-winning field goal, as Tech games usually do. It almost turned out I was both in right scenarios with Georgia Tech falling behind 28-0 to start the game. I mean, a lot of credit to Pittsburgh coming down to Bobby Dodd Stadium, getting an interception early on and really setting the tone. I thought they played so physical, so hard, just were at a different level with their speed, unfazed by the crowd, unfazed by the moment. So you have to give Pitt a ton of credit with the way they played, because Tech just looked shell-shocked in that first quarter, and really early in the second quarter being down 28-0. Give some credit to them, coming back. They made it a one-score game late before the pick six, which sort of broke their back. And really disappointing from a Tech point of view. They had a chance to make the ACC title game, and now that's virtually out the window. So a really, really big letdown for this Tech team. But like you said, state championship coming up, and that's really all they got left to play for.
Chad, I know the focus is on Georgia, but I was looking at the scenarios. I'm an analytics guy. There's three things that if they happen, Georgia Tech is going to be playing the ACC title game. Miami needs to beat Pitt. Virginia Tech needs to beat Virginia, and Cal needs to beat SMU. Can all three of those happen, or what's the most likely scenario that probably won't happen?
They can happen. That's why they play the game, right?
I know. The scoreboard watching.
I know. The likelihood is, probably less than like 2% if I had to put them. Let's start with Virginia Tech. Virginia was off, and that's a huge rivalry. And Virginia Tech's got nothing left to play for because they've fired their coach and hired James Franklin, and they're not going to a bowl game. So that's number one. That's the cliche of throw the records out the window for Virginia Tech. As good as Pitt played against Georgia Tech, Miami is a different animal. And we saw Pitt lose to Notre Dame, and Miami is playing at a really, really high level right now. So I think it's possible Pitt could lose to Miami. Now, that game is in Pittsburgh. But the third one, SMU and Cal, SMU is kind of lying in the weeds. No one's talking about that team, and they've been playing outstanding for a few weeks. And Cal has really been scuffling down the stretch. So I just don't really see a scenario where all three of those teams lose. That would be just an insane scenario to happen. And after all that Tech's been through the past 2-3 weeks, to wake up on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then be back in the ACC title game would be probably just most the ACC thing ever. But I just don't see that playing out this weekend.
Chad, should we still expect at this moment after that game this past Saturday that we still think that Haynes King deserve a trip to New York for the Heisman?
Unfortunately not. I love Haynes more than anybody. I've been a big fan of his and proponent of his through the years. But, given the schedule that Georgia Tech played, seeing that he came up short in Tech's biggest game, and really his 2 interceptions were so incredibly costly. And I know that's not fair for a kid that has set career numbers and is going to go down as one of the best in Tech history and has had an astronomical season. But those moments matter, giving up the 99, 100-yard pick six, throwing an interception early, overshooting and undershooting a lot of receivers in that entire game. Again, fair or not fair, that's just the way it is. And you look at the field and the way the other guys have been playing and rising up the leaderboard, he's sort of going to fall back. Now, if he goes out and beats Georgia, does that change the narrative? Maybe, but I just don't know. Unfortunately, if he's done enough in totality to warrant a trip there, having not beaten Pitt with a chance to go to the ACC title game.
All right, Chad, clean old-fashioned hate. And look, as a transplant, a resident of Georgia, I like both teams. It doesn't sit well with Georgia and Georgia Tech fans because my nephew went to Georgia Tech, and he does not like Georgia at all. Sure. Obviously, this is a very heated rivalry, and I think last year, when you think of the 8 overtimes, and now this game's going to be at the Benz, how excited are you about this game, and what are you looking forward to it being at the Benz?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think the Benz experience is going to be real weird and real different because, Mercedes-Benz Stadium announced last week that the game is sold out. Now, that's not exactly true because you go on, the ticket stubs and the Seat Geeks, and there's tickets everywhere. So what is the crowd going to look like, right? Are Tech fans going to back off now because their team is 9-2? Are Georgia fans going to back off now because their team is going to the playoff and they know they got games upcoming? Are they going to sort of save their money for that? Or will it be crazy? Will it be, 60, 70,000, 80,000 people in there going nuts because of your point, because of how great last year's game was? I think a little bit of the shine is taken off with Tech having lost 2 of 3. Again, Georgia possibly not playing in the SEC title game, but they are still a top 5 team. So I think this experience is going to be interesting to see, number one. And then the matchup on the field, I think with Tech being a 12, 13-point underdog, again, there's that narrative that Tech doesn't really have a chance. Georgia's so good, all that stuff. Tech only lost by 8 points 2 years ago. They went to 8 overtimes last year and lost by 2. I have no doubt that this game will be a 4-quarter game because Tech will give it to Georgia as much as they can. But where it ends up, again, is my second curiosity going into Friday afternoon.
He is Mr. Chad Bishop, and he's our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Chad, with regards to playing the game at Mercedes-Benz, what would it take for Georgia Tech or Georgia for that matter, whenever it's Tech's home game, to always play it in that facility, since the fact that I heard they were getting $10 million, and that's without worrying about paying anybody, any employees that if they were in Bobby Dodd for the concessions, the workers, the security, and all the expenses that go with hosting a home game. Why doesn't that make good sense?
Yeah, I think I don't think Georgia's ever going to want to take the game out of Stanford Stadium. And really, a lot of Georgia Tech fans aren't too happy this game is at the Benz either. I mean, there's something to be said about home field advantage and possibly seeing your home team win in their home stadium against one of your most hated rivals. So this scenario was just sort of a one-off. Tech has a 6-game agreement with Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're not going to play a game there next year. They sort of punted on the 26 season and will look to the future to play another game there. But they played 4 previous. They played Notre Dame last year, played Louisville in 23, played Clemson before. And also, Tech has not fared well at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I did the numbers. They're like 1-4 or 1-5 at that venue. So I don't even know if they want to be playing games there. But I just think this rivalry is so historic and so true. I think these teams will want to keep it on their campus moving forward. If they were schools separated geographically, is that a word? Where there was let's say I don't know, 2 teams who could meet in the middle, like a Charlotte or a Columbia, South Carolina, that'd be one thing. But given their locations, I think they'll continue to play on campus from now on.
Chad, I want to talk about how Georgia Tech has had the impact on the state of Georgia as far as recruiting goes, and the job that Brent Key has done. I know his name is being thrown out there for some possible coaching jobs out there, but what's the vibe there at Georgia Tech and Brent Key possibly staying at Georgia Tech?
Oh yeah, a ton of excitement around the program, and we'll start with recruiting. If you look at their rankings now, it's not incredibly high, not as highly touted class as it was a year ago. I think they're in the bottom half of the ACC and just under top 50 nationally. Now, I think that's going to change in coming weeks because of the Penn State situation, because of the Florida situation and the Auburn situation and all these coaches changing. There's going to be a lot of recruits flipping and looking at Georgia Tech, some kids who Georgia Tech has recruited for a long time. So I think they're going to get a bump here over the next couple of weeks before signing day. And as for Brent Key, that stuff sort of reached a fever pitch a couple of weeks ago. There was rumors about Penn State and maybe Auburn and maybe Florida, but those have died down with his comments of, cut me open and see what color I bleed, which sort of broke the internet. He loves Georgia Tech. I don't think he's looking to go anywhere else, but it does come down to institutional support. If Brent Key feels the institution will continue to give him money for his assistant pool, for his player revenue payments, build him facilities and continue to support him, he's going to stay at Tech. They're currently doing that. So that's why I think his commitment is going to stay true to Georgia Tech. If that ever wavers, I think we could have an issue. But for right now, Brent Key is staying. There's a lot of excitement. They've won 9 games. They continue to recruit at a high level, and now it's just taking it to that next step.
Chad, oftentimes that beat writers, especially on the level that you're at, people only, they try to pin you down on that particular team, and that's your job to cover that team. However, you're an expert, and you have other interests, and you have other teams that you follow. As it pertains to this question, of course, Lane Kiffin and what's going on, that whole deal down there. Give us your take, because I'm interested, because I'm sure people respect, not only what you talk about when you're writing about Tech, but they certainly will respect what you feel about what's going to go on with this Lane Kiffin fiasco.
It's interesting. I think of it, first of all, from an Ole Miss fan's perspective. And I lived in Nashville for a while, and I made some good friends with some Ole Miss alums who are diehard Ole Miss folks. And I really feel for them, right? Because Ole Miss is having one of, if not the best seasons in program history. They're certainly a college football playoff contender, if not a national championship contender. And they have all this going from them and all this positive momentum. And they can't just sit back and enjoy this because their coach is, for lack of a better term, dating. He's seeing other people right now. He's cheating on them. Like he's flirting with other programs. And then you're expected to get up this weekend and go watch the Egg Bowl and cheer on your team, but you don't know if your coach is fully invested. So I think that's really, really tough from a fan's perspective. From a professional perspective, I get it. Lane Kiffin's going to do what's best for he and him. I just don't know if he went about it the right way. I don't know why you couldn't have done all this behind closed doors and kept it quiet and came out. And even if you lied to the fan base and said, I'm committed to Ole Miss, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, coaches do that all the time, but at least fake it for a little bit and maintain the energy and excitement around your own program. And then feel free to talk to other places in the meantime. So it's just been an odd sort of circus. I saw a phrase, the Kardashians instead of the Kardashians, like that's what it's become, right? Like a reality show, like we're all waiting to see what he's going to do. And first he's talking about it and then he's not talking. It's just silly and ridiculous. And I think to me, I just feel for the Ole Miss fans and the Ole Miss faithful who should be really excited about their team and a possible national championship run. And now they might be losing their coach.
Chad, there are 3 non-Power 4 teams that could possibly shake up the college football playoff. That's James Madison, North Texas, and Tulane. If there's 2 of those teams that are ranked ahead of an ACC team, there's a possibility that 2 non-Power 4 teams could get in the college football playoff, and the ACC could get left out of the college football playoff. Now, they were only talking about this like if a couple weeks ago if Duke won the championship, but like, is it safe to say that we're going to have an ACC champion in the college football playoff, or what has to happen for that to be into fruition?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if we are safe to say that, right? Because I think we look at Miami being a really, really strong case to be an at-large, but Miami's probably not going to get in the ACC title game. So who wins that ACC title game? I mean, if we're looking at, an SMU or Pitt, excuse me, I know those teams got in the AP poll this week. Can they climb up there? Can Virginia? Can they beat Virginia Tech and win the ACC title game? There is certainly a chaos theory or a disaster situation for the ACC not to have their champion in the college football playoff. And I'll say this, I mean, the ACC really has no one to blame but themselves. They really didn't do a bang-up job in their non-conference schedule of beating Power 4 teams and getting those marquee wins, really outside of Miami beating Notre Dame. So it really comes down to the league as a whole really not doing their job in the non-conference, really not having a team be in that upper echelon and be elite like Miami has been. So I think the possibility is certainly out there. And I would imagine Jim Phillips, the commissioner, who was at Bobby Dodd Stadium on Saturday night, I'm sure he's a little bit nervous to see what happens. But it's also on him and his team to put out propaganda the next couple of weeks, pushing for their team and their champion to get in the playoff.
Chad, let's turn the page. Let's go to the NFL. Now, you love the Falcons. I assume, that being your city that you currently live in. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Bottom line is this. Michael Penix is done for the year. We've got Kirk Cousins, who is a guy that a lot of people have fallen from grace with in Atlanta, in and around Atlanta. But they went down to New Orleans, got the victory. The 37-year-old snapped the 5-game losing streak, played well. And, of course, everything else that's going to matter, if this guy ends up knocking the lights out and winning all the rest of the games, what's that going to do for the city of Atlanta and our quarterback for next year?
It's a wonderful question because I've listened to, being here in the city, a ton of talk radio and a ton of folks who are close to the team. D. Orlando Ledbetter, a great guy who covers the Falcons for us at the AJC. It's a conundrum because Michael Penix is out with the knee injury. Do you continue to push all your chips forward with him moving forward? If Kirk Cousins plays well and gets the team to some wins, do you bring him back and continue to have that sort of two quarterbacks in your locker room situation? You're not quite sure which to go on. Do you blow the whole thing up at season's end and have a new coach and a new GM and even a new quarterback to look to? I don't know. It's crazy because it just seems like a franchise right now that really can't get out of its own way. I really thought that they would be a playoff contender this season, and things have fallen off the rails, and that's disappointing for folks in Atlanta and for Falcons fans through and through. I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions because I don't know what the right choice is. If you're going to have to ride with Kirk Cousins for the rest of this season, right? And then if he plays well, I don't know if you bring him back because you still got Michael Penix waiting in the wings, and he spent a draft pick and a ton of money on that kid. So they've really backed themselves into a corner here, but that's what those guys get paid millions of dollars to figure out the solutions.
Tell you what, keeping up with some of the professional athletes that played at Tech. Jamar Gibbs, did you have an opportunity to see any of those highlights of him yesterday? I mean, he was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. And, he was a little bit before my coverage time, but the folks just speak the world of him. In fact, to Tashard Choice, the running backs coach up there for Detroit, he spoke at a team meeting I was able to go to earlier this year, and I had nothing but amazing things to say about Gibbs and his athleticism and his work ethic. We know the kid transferred to Alabama to finish his career, but Tech certainly claims him and just had a fantastic NFL career to this point, continues to make all sorts of crazy plays. So I know the Tech folks are super proud of Jameer and what he's been able to do.
Chad, I do want to switch gears a little bit because I know you covered Georgia Tech football, but the basketball team, they won again against West Georgia. They're 5-1. I think that Coach Damon Stoudemire needs to make the NCAA tournament this year. Is it safe to say if he doesn't make the NCAA tournament, he could possibly be out of a job?
I think there's no question. And I love Damon Stoudemire as a guy, as a person. And I really like actually, what he does X's and O's wise as a basketball coach. But things he just hasn't clicked yet. He hasn't gone on that run, hasn't sniffed 20 wins. I thought last year, at the very least, they could be an at-large team. Now, injuries sort of derailed their season. So coming into this year with another highly touted recruiting class, they really need to make a push to make that NCAA tournament. And I'll tell you this, Damon Stoudemire was hired by Jay Batt. Well, Jay Batt's now the AD at Michigan State, and Ryan Alpert's the new AD at Georgia Tech. So there's a factor now. I mean, that's an easy solution right there to say, well, he wasn't our guy and we're going to go a different direction if this Tech basketball team doesn't make the tournament. Now, they're playing okay right now. They have a really, really soft non-conference schedule. They've lost to Georgia. They got Mississippi State coming up. But most of the teams they're playing are 250, 300 in the Ken Palm ratings. So they have a chance to stack some wins here before ACC play, before the calendar turns to 2026. They can continue to mesh, continue to gel, continue to get some confidence. They could certainly be a team to be reckoned with in the ACC, but that remains to be seen because they really haven't been that team in Damon Stoudemire's first 2 years.
Chad, lastly, I know that it's a godsend that, the Georgia Tech game will be the day after Thanksgiving and folks will be off and relaxed. But from the teams, logistically, is there any concerns?
No, I don't think so. And in fact, I think from Tech's perspective, it's probably a good thing that they're on short rest, that they don't have to wait a little bit longer to think about that Pittsburgh debacle and think about what happened Saturday night at Bobby Dodd Stadium. I mean, they typically get back to work on Sunday, which they did. I think it's going to be helpful for them to be like, we don't have time to sit around and mope because we got to go play Georgia in a couple of days. And being right down the street at Mercedes-Benz Stadium probably is going to allow them to wake up Friday morning and do their normal routine before they take buses over to the stadium. I know it's not a home game, right, for them, but it's right down the road. So, yeah, it being a short rest down the road is going to be helpful for Tech to just clear their mind, turn their attention to the rival, and not worry about anything that's happened in the previous 11 games, and go out there and play loose and give it all they got because they got nothing left to play for.
All right, Chad, finally, go ahead and set the table for Friday's clean, old-fashioned hate.
Well, a couple of things I think you need to watch for is, number one, is Georgia Tech defense, much maligned. They got to make a stop at some point, and they actually kind of did that against Pitt. Their offense didn't help them out too much in the early goings anyway. And then number two, I think this comes down to, what does Georgia do? Does Georgia blink? Do they turn it over? Do they jump off sides? Do they drop a third down pass? Do they, muff a punt? All those sort of extracurricular things that teams find that beat themselves. If Georgia doesn't beat themselves, I don't know if Georgia Tech can keep up. But if Georgia makes a ton of mistakes and allows Tech to hang around, then look out. I think it could be a 4-quarter game and Tech will have a shot at the end.
Well, Mr. Chad Bishop, we certainly look forward to seeing you in the bins on Friday. Of course, wish you guys the best of luck, but hopefully the best team will win, and that best team will be the Bulldogs.
All right. See you guys.
All right, take care.
See you, Chad.
That's Mr. Chad Bishop, of course, with the AJC. I love talking to him, man. He makes me feel so much smarter after he fills me with that knowledge of what Tech is going to do and what they're all about. And, of course, the coach, man, I tell you, it's not a given that he's going to be around. I know it sounds good, but there's a lot of jobs opening up out there. And, man, his name is, I'm sure, one of the top names on the list.
Yeah, that's what happens when you win. The other teams want you.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm running and I won't touch ground.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Jennings, and here are your morning headlines. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress on January the 5th. Her announcement comes after her fallout with President Donald Trump over the Epstein files, being called a traitor and sharing criticisms on some of the Trump administration's policies. In Lynette, authorities are searching for a gunman who opened fire on a Lynette officer and struck the patrol vehicle several times Sunday off Veterans Memorial Parkway. Investigators say the officer was not harmed, and the Lynette Police Department is asking anyone with information about the incident to contact them. UAB football player Daniel Mincy is charged with attempted murder for stabbing two of his teammates. He was arrested on Sunday. Interim coach Alex Mortensen is glad to say the two players are expected to survive. From WRBL News 3, I'm Michelle Jennings. Have a joyful rest of your day.
Good Monday morning. We are starting off the day mostly clear and chilly with those readings in the 40s and a few 50s. Plenty of sun in the forecast today with a mix of sun and clouds. Those highs still climb well above average in the upper 70s later this afternoon. Tonight, mild and partly cloudy, lows in the upper 50s. We are tracking a strong cold front arriving Tuesday with showers and storms. A few of those could be strong. The front clears early Wednesday and then a cooler Thanksgiving forecast.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-215-7996. 800-215-7996. 800-215-7996. That's 800-215-7996.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save it.
If you're in the market for new furniture, the only place you need to shop is Gorey's Furniture Express. They have over 106,000 square feet of in-stock merchandise just waiting for you. Sofas, love seats, recliners, bedroom suites, dining room sets, and more. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
How would you like to sponsor Georgia Bulldogs football? Call 706-327-1217 to find out how. That's 706-327-1217. Again, that's 706-327-1217.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
Don't miss Macy's best deals of the year. Hurry in and shop epic Black Friday deals on this season's best gifts before they're gone, like men's and women's boots for just $19.99. Coats for the whole family, 60% off. Levi's jeans and denim, 40% off. Plus, 50% off top beauty gifts from Yves Saint Laurent, Armani, and more. Don't wait. Black Friday is here at Macy's. Savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
The only live and local sports morning show. It's the Sports Visions Morning Show with Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Richard Holdridge in the building. Richard, you know, I not only like this time of year because of obviously Thanksgiving and all the good food, but it's also it's our opportunity to start putting up our Christmas decorations and listening to Christmas music. One of my favorites of Christmas period is just listening to all the wonderful genres of Christmas music. And, you know, it just puts me in a good spirit. It puts me in a great space.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" like 100,000 times. But just getting into just the festive atmosphere, and the kids love the Christmas movies, and I love watching Christmas movies too. And we pulled out all the Christmas decorations yesterday. I haven't put the tree up yet. I'm more of a traditionalist. I usually don't put the tree up till after Thanksgiving. I know some people like putting up their Christmas tree November 1st.
Yeah,
but that's neither here or there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's the time for the season. This is a great time.
I tell you what, I love those folks. Excuse me. I love those folks who don't take down their Christmas tree. I got one of my listeners and one of my neighbors, and his name is Stanley Crowell. He doesn't take his tree down, and he's in the front room in a big window in front of his house, and he just closes the curtains. But I tell you, man, it saves you a lot of time, having it up all year round. And again, and you know what? It's so those people that like that, they could see Christmas every day instead of just the one, 1 month or whatever it is that they celebrate.
And same with Christmas lights too.
Yeah,
I know how a pain in the neck it is to take those down and put them back up.
All right, we go from of course, one side of the clean old-fashioned hate realm to the other side, and of course, I'd like to welcome in, of course, our guy. He is Georgia. He is actually the University of Georgia's beat writer on behalf of the. I hear some echoing.
Yeah, he muted his mic.
Okay, cool. So again, back at Dawgs 247 Sports. His name is Jordan Hill, and he's our guy, and we are glad to have him this morning. Good morning, Jordan.
Good morning, guys. Appreciate y'all having me. Big week ahead. Super excited to talk a little clean old-fashioned hate.
Absolutely. I just had an opportunity to talk to Chad Bishop. He set the tone on the Tech side, and on the, of course, on the Georgia side, with a lot to play for. Although Tech has something to play for as well. But again, were you satisfied with the victory on Saturday?
Well, it's one of those deals. I think Georgia was very methodical about who they played, how long they played. We had some folks. Y'all find this hard to believe that there were people on the message board who were not happy with the product. That was a new experience for me as someone who's been back on the site since 2022. But no, I understand the frustration. I mean, it was only 35-3. It wasn't, the most exciting game, but Georgia kept it really vanilla. And I just published a story just before I came on here with you guys. Rewatching the game, I mean, there wasn't anything that we usually see from specifically the offense. Not a lot of eye candy, not a lot of misdirection. This was a bad Charlotte team. Charlotte came in 1-9. Georgia knew that it did not have to go all out to beat this Charlotte team. And, I saw some of the stats that I think Georgia has never covered under Kirby Smart when they've been at least a 38-point favorite. I mean, that's just kind of run-of-the-mill, kind of what you expect with Kirby in a game like this, especially Week 13, getting ready for what they hope is going to be a playoff run, and getting ready for a short week to play Georgia Tech.
Jordan, I told Chad on this previous segment, I'm a transplant Georgia resident, so I like Georgia and Georgia Tech. Is that sacrilegious? I mean, how crazy is that statement? I know that this rivalry, there's a lot of hatred towards both teams. I know some Tech fans who completely dislike Georgia, and I know some Georgia fans that completely dislike Tech. Just talk about how heated this rivalry is.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it just depends probably on the Georgia fan. I'll say this as someone who grew up in Georgia, and my dad is a big Georgia fan. I mean, we always, didn't really mind Tech winning until they played Georgia. But I think it depends on the fan. I think it also depends on the age of the fan. What I've always found really interesting with Georgia, with the different rivals they have, kind of the age of the fan you're talking to might dictate who they say is the biggest rival. For older Georgia fans, a lot of the times they say Georgia Tech. But the one-sidedness of this rivalry, I think, has kind of affected how probably both sides see this rivalry. And I always bring up, with any rivalry, that if you feel like it's missing something, if it needs a shot of adrenaline, a shot of like becoming relevant again, all it takes is the other side winning one game. And I can't remember who I heard say this one time, but I think it's the most accurate. People will say, all right, if Georgia can only beat one of these rivals, who do you want them to beat? That sort of thing. Beating Georgia Tech might not be the most enjoyable win for Georgia, But I feel pretty comfortable saying that when they lose to Tech, that's the most miserable Georgia fans are of any of the rivals they play, because Georgia Tech fans, they like to remind Georgia fans of that, and that's not one that is all that enjoyable to have to hear about for 365.
Jordan, I asked Chad this question, and I'll ask you the same, and I know it'll probably be very similar. And I was really, when I was asking him, when when it becomes the home games in Georgia Tech, will they just decide to play their games at Mercedes-Benz? Since it's so much easier, so much more economical for them to take the check. Don't worry about their expenses of security, concessions, and all the operations of the stadium. But he threw in the fact that, he may mention that, he thought I was considering Georgia too. I know that wasn't going to happen, but I just want to get your take if you thought that might be a good idea. Because again, does it matter if it's at Bobby Dodd, or does it matter if it's at Mercedes-Benz? It's still Atlanta, and again, the Georgia Bulldogs would be treating it the same way coming on the road to play Georgia Tech.
Well, I actually wrote this last year when it kind of became clear that Georgia, Florida was going to stay neutral even when they were working on Jacksonville. Like, I think I give Jay Blatt, who's no longer at Tech, but did a really good job, I thought, in getting this game set up with it being a Mercedes-Benz. My thing, and I'm really not taking a shot at Georgia Tech. That's just the way it is. Georgia fans, buy up the seats in Bobby Dodd. So why not move the game to Mercedes-Benz? It's part of like a $10 million deal that Georgia Tech has with Mercedes-Benz for several other games too that they've played in there. I think it makes all the sense in the world for Georgia Tech to do that. I mean, you get the money you can for neutral site games like this. And again, I'm not taking a shot at Georgia Tech. It's just, it is what it is. Georgia fans usually wind up filling Bobby Dodd. It's usually more Georgia fans when they play there. Why not move it? It's right down the road. It's not like you're having to go out of state to play it, Get the money, help, use those resources for NIL or whatever else you need. And like you said, that is one less thing they have to worry about as far as who's working the concessions, all that stuff. Let Mercedes-Benz do that. I think it makes all the sense in the world for Tech to do that. I don't know how often, going forward, if they're going to continue to play this game there. I think it makes a ton of sense for Georgia Tech to do that.
Jordan, Georgia is currently ranked 4th in the latest college football rankings. It's safe to say, regardless of the outcome against Georgia Tech, that Georgia's going to be in the college football playoff. Now, whether or not they get to the SEC title game, that's neither here or there, because there's some scenarios that has to happen. But how exciting is Georgia fans with the possibility of hosting a first-round college football playoff game? And that's still on the table to have that on that weekend in the first round of the college football at Sanford Stadium.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to watch if there was like a ticket counter of like, okay, we have this amount of tickets available and we're putting them online right now. I think they'd be sold out about as quickly. It looked like a Taylor Swift concert or something like that. But no, it's one of those things. So I think that, Georgia fans are kind of ready for whatever. There's the potential they hold where they are and wind up getting a first round bye. There's the potential that, they wind up dropping a few spots and having to host a game. And I think they just had, Georgia fans have to be ready for whatever. But it is fun to just kind of envision what that would be like to see the first playoff game. And it's one of the, first home playoff game in Sanford Stadium. I cannot imagine what that environment would be like. And then, just to look at it from a personal perspective, how cool that would be to say, hey, I covered the first playoff game that was ever played in Sanford Stadium. I think that's what Georgia fans are rooting for that to happen, because I know that they would show up and they would show out, and God bless whoever would be playing Georgia, because they'd be dealing with a loud environment, and it'd be a lot for sure.
Jordan Hill is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show, and I know Jordan, he's the beat writer for our Georgia Bulldogs on behalf of the Dawgs 247 Sports. Jordan, you know what? It's no secret. One of our Bulldogs has gotten himself in trouble with the law. So let's find out what do you know about it, and what can you tell us?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know a ton other than Nair Daniels was arrested on Sunday. I was told that he's no longer with the program. Rusty Mansell from Dawgs HQ had first reported that. I think there was like 13 different charges. So based on the last I heard, he is no longer with the program. I'm sure that Kirby Smart will be asked about it around 12 today. Really ugly scene. The details are very strange. But yeah, from what I was told, excuse me. From what I was told, he is no longer with the program, but I'm sure Kirby Smart will comment on it a little bit later this morning.
Boy, I tell you, it sucks when you think about all the things that this team has played for. And again, you got something like with us coming up again in Tech Week, and when this story breaks, it's almost like, here we go again.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations. But if Georgia has moved on, I give them credit, because this is just a thoughtless situation, a situation that should not have played out the way it did. I know that Dawgs HQ and I think also UJ Sports had the details of the arrest, and I would encourage folks to go read that just to get a better sense of what happened. But yeah, just a bad situation, especially this time of year, and especially with Georgia getting ready for a big rivalry game.
Jordan, I don't mean to ruffle feathers for Georgia fans, but this could be possibly clickbait. But LSU's got a job opening, and I don't know who put this out there, but they were throwing Kirby Smart's name just because he was an assistant under Saban at LSU. How credible is that? I mean, Kirby Smart, he's not leaving Georgia at all, right?
No, not for LSU. The only time I kind of wondered was when Alabama came open. I wasn't expecting it, and his name really never came in the mix. So not expecting that. What I would be watching for if the Lane Kiffin thing falls apart, and this is just paying attention to, I wouldn't say that this is going to happen, is if Glenn Schumann gets in the mix. If they decide, hey, let's go with a young assistant like Georgia did when they hired Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
But no, if Kirby's coaching in college, it's at Georgia. And I think at this point in his career, if he's coaching at all, it's at Georgia.
I tell you what, I was going to just throw in the fact that, the Atlanta Falcons wouldn't be, that might be a head turner but again, all of that is just fun. And it's good listening to radio and, of course, good talk on social media, huh?
Yeah, I think I might have said it with you guys before that if Arthur Blank hired Kirby Smart, I think that there'd be a riot on Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I think everybody involved would know better than to try to do that.
All right, Jordan, before you go, set the table for the clean old-fashioned hate this Friday.
Yeah, 3:30 p.m. on Friday. It's going to be a fun day of SEC action. You got the Egg Bowl to start things off, and who knows what we might have fireworks going off before that game is played. And then you got Georgia Tech. Then you got Texas A&M at 9, and that's going to be one that might determine if Georgia's playing in Mercedes-Benz for 2 straight weeks. So I think that's going to be a fun one. For me, I think the biggest thing is, can Georgia get the ball rolling as far as running the ball on this Georgia Tech defense? This Tech defense has really struggled, particularly with stopping the run. You saw it against Pitt. I think Pitt averaged about 4.5 yards per carry in that win on Saturday. So big opportunity for Georgia. They're going to have to stop Haynes King. I think he's literally going to leave it all out there on the field. Dude is beat up, but he is not going to slow down. Guys, I think we're in for a fun one on Friday. And super excited to get there, get to Mercedes-Benz, and watch what I think is going to be a very entertaining edition of Clean Old Fashioned Hate.
Jordan, before you go, what are your Thanksgiving plans?
Yeah, got some family just over in Jefferson, so it's going to be a short drive. Go see my dad's side of the family and probably eat too much food and then go home and then sleep until I got to get up and drive to Mercedes-Benz on Friday.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your morning.
All right, thank you, guys, and hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, George.
That's Jordan Hill, Dawgs 247 Sports.
Can't wait. Where else you gonna get the Tech beat writer and the Georgia beat writer talking clean old fashioned hate?
Right here on the Sports Visions Morning Show. All right, let's go ahead and take our final break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to the WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Look out! Pop, it's showtime.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning, right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
This message is brought to you by the Armed Forces Vacation Club, a free membership travel hub for active duty military and veterans. The club provides a well-deserved escape during challenging times or post-deployments, or for cherished family moments. This exclusive travel club grants access to discounted 7-night resorts and savings on over 600,000 hotels, rental cars, and more. Discover the world for free at afvclub.com.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. The VA Health and Benefits app is like a one-stop shop for veterans. They can view or cancel VA medical appointments, send and receive messages from healthcare providers, and download VA benefit letters to provide veteran status or disability payments. Veterans can also manage existing VA claims, refill VA prescriptions, and get quick access to the VA crisis line. Download the Health and Benefits app on your iPhone or at the Google App Store, or wherever you normally get your mobile apps. If you already use this app, please share your feedback on your phone's app store. That's the VA Health and Benefits mobile app.
In 2017, our daughter remarkably sang her way to the finals of America's Got Talent.
But the real miracle is that she even made it to the stage. When she was 4, she survived sepsis.
When it comes to sepsis, remember, it's about time. Watch for T, temperature that's abnormal. I, signs of an infection. M, mental decline. E, feeling extremely ill.
Take the time now to learn more at sepsis.org.
In Iraq, our truck hit a roadside bomb. I had about 16 surgeries on my hand so that I could regain function. And when I came home, I needed a new roof due to a storm. And my electrical was deemed unsafe. And I was about to lose homeowners insurance as well. I didn't really know where to go in order to get help. And so I applied for Operation Homefront Critical Financial Assistance Program. They've really been a blessing. Operation Homefront is a safety net. A lot of veterans, they fall through the cracks sometimes, and Operation Homefront, they catch us. It's been a blessing to us. It's a blessing to other veteran families, and it's good to know that when we come home, there are people who are there that care about us and want to see us do well and want to see us succeed, and we feel it, and we appreciate that. I would say you guys are angels behind closed doors.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, 12 to 3 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's Carver Tigers legend DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Richard Holdridge in the building. It's a great day for a great day. Richard, we had some folks that have chimed in with us today, and we appreciate the fact. I'll let you say hello and acknowledge those folks.
Absolutely, DJ. I mean, obviously, we have our loyal listeners. Stanley Crowell, good morning. Welcome to Monday. So glad you made it in spite of. Let's get it and started and do what you do so well. We appreciate Stanley and just his loyalty to the show and getting up with us. Rodney Lawrence says, good morning. Sandra Vett Shelton, which I saw at the Hardaway Smith Station game last week, saying good morning. Of course, she changed the colors to the hearts she has on her emojis to the Hampton University colors for A.K. Shelton.
All right.
I mean, we appreciate Sandra. And Bobby Brown, listened on the way to work. Great opening. Looks like a lot of ground to cover. Everyone enjoy your week. And of course, your wife, Candy Lowe, good morning. And also, we have George Williams, a legendary coach George Williams, saying, good morning, guys. When I think of Coach Williams, I think of the Thanksgiving Classic you would put on during this time, and we miss it, but Coach George Williams.
Bring it back.
I know that's what I'm thinking,
Bring
DJ.
it back.
But
Bring it back.
we appreciate Coach Williams and just being that pioneer of basketball in this city, and his son's doing a pretty good job coaching too.
Both sons,
yeah, Donovan and Persian.
Absolutely, they appreciate it. Hey man, listen, just a great show today, and for those folks that are listening out there and are just chiming in, Corey Black, who is the new general manager of the Columbus Lions Arena football team. And again, that announcement was made a couple of weeks ago at a presser. We had him on and we played his interview. And again, Corey and Roger Beck together again with Damon Daniels. That's a powerful three people that, for this thing to really have a chance to work. And what I mean work, that means not only they're going to take care of business on the field, but they're going to have butts in seats. They're going to have that Civic Center feel more than it wasn't before. I mean, it's time for that. And then of course all the family and fun that comes with all the celebrations prior to the games, during the games, halftime, and perhaps after the game, we can count on, of course, Corey and Roger Beck and the rest of the staff with the Columbus Lions to bringing some new energy to the Civic Center.
Yeah, perfect combination. I can't wait. I saw on social media several players like Jarmon Fortson and Darrell Green coming back for the 2026 season. Got a chance to see Coach Damian Daniels at Mount DeSales on Thursday. He was supporting his Pacelli players who got selected to the All-Star game. And so I think that this has just been a perfect combination with Roger Beck as the owner, Coach Corey Black as the general manager, and Coach Daniels as the head coach. I mean, this is the dream team right here. I think that going into this new league in the AAL, they're going to have a lot of success. And their first game, April 16th. So that's something to think about, and I can't wait for them to get back into the Civic Center for 2026.
Also on the show today, big shout out to Dusty Perdue. He is, of course, the head basketball coach for both boys and girls programs at Glenwood. And again, we talked about, the era in which he started. We talked about his wonderful parents and again, the DNA that he has in his blood that gives him the audacity to be great. And of course, we're talking about Bubba Ball and of course, his lovely mom as well. Now, again, with regards to Dusty Perdue and all that he has done at Glenwood, he did acknowledge the fact that, they have a heck of a name now with that G and that brand again. And we went back in time because, again, once upon a time, he didn't know who the hell Glenwood was. Yeah. But, boy, everybody know who the Gators are right now.
Yeah, like if you're not like invested into high school sports like I was post 2019, I had no idea where Glenwood was. I mean, I heard about Central, I heard about Smith Station on the other side of the river. When I first moved to the city, I didn't know about Brookstone, Pacelli, Glenwood. I mean, it's very interesting that, Glenwood has been really put on the map, especially now that they're in the AHSAA, and the whole state of Alabama has taken notice.
Absolutely. That's Coach Dusty Perdue. He's the baby boy of course, Bubba Ball and Debbie Ball. Let's go. Chad Bishop from our Atlanta Journal-Constitution beat writer for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, getting ready for clean, old-fashioned hate. And I know coming off of that terrible loss at home to Pitt. Pitt came down and gave them the business, brother.
Yeah.
So again, you get a good slap on the face there prior to going up against your arch rival. And I know that Coach, you're going to have them ready to play, and those Georgia Bulldogs coming into the Mercedes-Benz. When we were talking to, of course, Jordan Hill, who was our final guest, it makes sense, and it makes sense to me. That's why I kept throwing it out at Chad Bishop prior to and weeks ago. Again, is this something that really, from a business standpoint, because we talk about all the funds and all the budgets that's needed for the football program, from the NIL to recruiting, to everything you need to do, from the coach's salary, getting this check in the city, and without, you're starting with a $10 million check, and that's all you have to do just for showing up and playing the Bulldogs at this facility, Mercedes-Benz. Now, back that up. If it's at Bobby Dodd, you don't have all the stadium. You don't have as many seats to fill. Georgia fans, as Jordan said, they buy up all the tickets, and you got to pay for concessions, or at least got to worry about providing concessions, security, and everything else that goes on to host a game. Man, I tell you what, it's a no-brainer to me if I'm the athletic director and the powers that be at Georgia Tech, I'll just play my game and get that check. And again, it's Atlanta. Hey, baby, my team can play whether it's Bobby Dodd or whether it's at the Benz.
Yeah, it's still a home game for Georgia Tech. It's just down the road. Look, I know that Georgia Tech fans, passionate Georgia Tech fans, want that stadium feel at Bobby Dodd, and I get it. But Bobby Dodd only holds like 58,000 fans.
Yeah.
I mean, you moving it to a bigger venue where you're going to have more fans wanting to go there and to buy out the tickets at the Mercedes-Benz. Logistically, it makes sense.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Jordan Hill. He set the table for us, as he always does. And again, it's always good to talk to Jordan. And again, he gave us some references to, again, this most recent incident with the Georgia football player. I don't know the details, but he told us that we could go to On3 Sports and one other source that if you want the details of what actually happened.
Yeah, Rusty Manziel also broke the news. I hate seeing that. I just,
Dawgs
as a sports
HQ?
fan, Dawgs HQ, there it is.
Yeah.
I hate seeing these off-the-field incidents. It's just, hopefully, the kid gets his life turned around. But, if he's already off the team, he's got to focus on, getting things in order in his life.
Didn't get that quite clear. Was he off the team prior to this incident Sunday morning, or was he off the team after he got charged?
I think maybe he got kicked off the team after he got charged.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a charge. It's not a conviction. But sometimes, these programs have this zero tolerance. I mean,
Well, Georgia should
have a zero tolerance. Yeah.
I mean, they have, because of what they've gone through the last several years, man. It's been crazy, but at the same time, it's very unfortunate that this stuff comes up here at the end of the season when we should be talking about the team as we have been, and then we throw this guy in with whatever foolishness he's been involved with.
Yeah, I hate seeing this as a sports fan. I hope that these kids learn their lesson and be made an example, and so they don't deserve to play. If you cannot get your affairs in order and walk the straight and narrow, you don't deserve to play.
Rich, a couple of minutes left. Anything left for Georgia Alabama Sports Live?
Oh, man, we have got a very slow weekend. We're going to have a couple of Georgia Alabama Sports Live shows from our sponsors. We might get some Thanksgiving tournaments in. Thrift and I will be in LaGrange tomorrow. Smith Station's in that tournament. I think Columbus is in that tournament. Obviously, LaGrange is hosting. We may even travel on the road because Glenwood's taking on Terrell Academy on Tuesday. And then, of course, we've got the game against Carver and Thompson on the NFHS Network, courtesy of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's kind of a light weekend. We hit the ground running once the calendar hits December because we have a ton of basketball games.
All right. Well, I tell you what, man, I want everybody to at least start to enjoy your Thanksgiving week. Not just a weekend week started today. For those of you who are off the school, the kids are out of school, and a lot of you are taking an early vacation. But those of you who are at work right now, again, still understand that we love you. We appreciate you. And again, we want you to tune in tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. right here on Sports Vision 92.1. You hear the music. You know what that means. That's going to do it for this edition of the Sports Visions Morning Show. On behalf of Richard Holdridge, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball.
I feel it coming. Time is up to get.
You've been listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Behringer. Brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
I try to live, but I can't. I don't know why you're the one. Turn me out of my mind. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body.
Stacy, are you wearing yoga pants to go shopping? Oh, we're not going out shopping. We're staying in with JTV. I love jewelry television. Their pearls, their lab-grown diamond jewelry. Oh, hello. What about their Italian gold and moissanite fire? Okay, but what about the guys on my holiday list? Relax. JTV has gifts galore, even for men, like watches.